championship. Hey, this one ought to be real fun.
I'll kick your old fellas. I ain't going nowhere.
Will the unlikely Viking pull off another mini miracle? Or can San Fran's D and their legendary QB make them super again? Lots of questions, and we'll bring you the answers. All on this one and only Fox NFC Divisional Playoff.
Randall Cunningham has never played in an NFC championship game, but he is just one game away as he makes his fifth start for the Vikings. The San Francisco 49ers, the NFC's top seed, folks, they are well rested, and when these two teams met 4 weeks ago, Steve Young was simply sensational. He threw for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. But as the Niners begin their playoff quest for a record 6th Super Bowl title, the franchise remembers all too well it was the Vikings in a similar situation 10 years ago who upset them on this very same field. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers in an NFC Divisional playoff game from 3Com Park.
Mythical city of the Golden State, home of the NFL's most enduring power. Here, a rookie coach seeks to right recent playoff failures that have haunted the 49ers. The Minnesota Vikings are a study in perseverance. A team driven with star-studded talent. And last week, they took a stunning first step in achieving postseason respect. The question is, who will take the next step today? Changing weather conditions are expected with rain and cool temperatures in the mix as the San Francisco 49ers begin their quest to advance to the NFC Championship game and beyond against the winners in their wild card game a week ago, the Minnesota Vikings.
And it's time for the Erickson Countdown.
And right now, let's go down to the field to Pam Oliver, who's with Vikings head coach Dennis Green.
All right, Dick, thanks a lot. Denny, I know your team is very confident. Tell me what needs to be done offensively and defensively to get things done today.
Get to start fast with our offense, play very good run defense, make sure we don't give up any big plays in our secondary, and then utilize this win that we have, which is gusting in the first quarter.
Running the ball, that's key.
That's the key for us. I think once we do all the other things, we need Robert Smith and Leroy already have a big day.
Thanks, Denny. Appreciate it. Let's go back up to Dick.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. The 49ers have won the toss, and they will receive. And Mitch Berger will kick off for the Minnesota Vikings. Steve Young getting set to bring his offense out. Dennis Green's first win in the playoffs was last week against the Giants. But the 49ers have won 8 of the last 10 against the Vikings and have a 6-game winning streak here at home.
You know, Dick, I think the one thing that Howie Long talked about on the pregame show after making that last-minute call, the field is in phenomenal shape. I mean, it couldn't be better in San Francisco on the field than it is right now.
Chuck Levy is back deep for the 49ers, and the wind blows the ball off the tee.
Interesting point that Denny Green made right at the start about the wind, being able to use the wind here in this first quarter.
It is a swirling wind.
Yeah, but you try to use it to your advantage in terms of field position early.
Dennis Green, of course, knows the 49ers and this field, having served 2 stints as an assistant coach with the Niners. And the ball again is blown off, and now they're going to need some help, and they'll have to hold for the opening kickoff. 49ers coming in with a 13-3 record and home field advantage throughout these NFC playoffs. Minnesota 9-7 in the regular season, were the last wild card to make the postseason. Orlando Thomas is holding for Mitch Berger. And we finally get this game underway, and it's a good kick deep into the end zone, and will be down by Chuck Levy for a touchback. And the 49ers getting the ball first. And Steve Young, who has been the top-rated passer, that is an incredible statistic, 6 of the last 7 years, comes in healthier than he's been all season. Derek Deese, and he'll be one to watch at left tackle against John Randall. Brown, Dahlman, Gogan, and Scrafford, the other offensive linemen. Terry Kirby and William Floyd in the backfield. J.J. Stokes and Terrell Owens, the wide receivers. And Brent Jones, who will retire after the season at tight end. They sent Kirby in motion, and Steve Young's first pass is incomplete, and it was intended for Stokes. That was Dwayne Washington defending on the play. Vikings were 29th defensively in the league, and Tony Williams and Stalin Collinet are rookies, but John Randall is not. Ed McDaniel moves from weak side to the middle linebacker spot. Rookie Dwayne Rudd starts on the weak side. Torian Gray is a rookie starting at free safety for the Vikings, who have 4 rookies in their unit. Second down and 10, and the handoff to Terry Kirby, and he brings it out to about the 23.
You know, when you look at this San Francisco offense, the one thing that really killed the Minnesota Vikings the last time was that guy right there, number 8, Steve Young, and the rhythm that he got into early. And we've talked about it in the pregame show, the start of the game. You've got to break the rhythm. And you have to kind of punch this 49er offense in the face early.
And the 49ers have the second most points scored in opening drives this year. Third down and 7, and here comes pressure up the middle on Young. He gets free, and he'll run for the first down, and sliding to the 32. Something you haven't seen Young do many times is slide, but he stayed healthy that way.
And also run this year, and that's something you're going to see different today. Speaking with Steve Mariucci this week, I said, you know, Mooch, you have Steve Young, you kept him under wraps. You take those wraps off for the playoffs without hesitating? Absolutely. You have to let him take off and run. And then the other thing is you have to be able to handle John Randall. Now watch Kevin Gogan. Gogan heard me say give him a punch, except he went for the gut instead.
Gogan won that round on points. First down for the Niners on the 31. Kirby going outside. Good yardage. Terry Kirby driven out of bounds by Torian Gray, and a flag is thrown as the Niners get into Minnesota territory. A gain of 20 pending the call.
Dick, you know, we talked about the 4 rookies who are starting for the Minnesota Vikings.
And a penalty is against Minnesota.
One of the things the 49ers thought they could take advantage of was the youth. See, we talked about early, you know, JB mentioned it, I said it to him, sometimes these guys will be wrong. Sometimes they're right in being wrong because they will run underneath the block and make a play. That time, Stalin Collinet ran underneath the block and it killed them for about 25 yards.
So you've got the speed and explosiveness of this new-look defense, but you also have mistakes by rookies in a pressure game.
Inexperience from just having not been out there all the time.
Steve Young's pass. Stokes down the sideline, and it went out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So they'll bring this back. It'll be a 7-yard pickup for the 49ers on first down.
Yep. We talked about breaking the rhythm. One of the ways you have to break the rhythm is you have to get up there and you got to try to be physical with these wide receivers. If you stand off and you give Young 5 yards, he'll take 5 yards. If you sit back 7 yards, he'll take 7 yards. You have to change it up and get your hands on the receivers so they can't run clean.
And that's the vulnerable position for the Vikings today, without question, is their secondary. 2nd and 3. And Terry Kirby off the right side, and that has stopped Jerry Ball. No gain on the play. The former Oakland Raider, who was signed in late September and has been a fixture up front for the Vikings.
And also Ed McDaniel, who's right in the middle. Now, Ed McDaniel's interesting because last year he missed the whole season with the knee. Came back this season, had a good year in terms of making tackles. Jeff Brady went down. They moved him to the inside. You can see he's not a real big guy, only 230 pounds, but great instincts. Not real comfortable with playing inside.
3rd and 3. Young stepping up, and he's hit. Gets away from a defender, and Dwayne Rudd putting pressure on, and Young trying to get rid of it, and the Minnesota Vikings with big pressure, and it was eventually Dwayne Rudd, the rookie from Alabama, but he didn't start it.
You know, that is a perfect example of what we talked about. Stalin Colonnade jumped inside, got the big run to the outside. That time, Dwayne Rudd, because of his great speed and his youthfulness, jumped inside, but because he could run, was able to force the play outside.
So the Vikings stopped the Niners in their first foray. David Palmer, who led the NFC in punt returns. High snap to Tommy Thompson, and Thompson's kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Vikings ultimately passed their first defensive test. Now they get the ball for the first time.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Plymouth, more fun, more car. That's Plymouth. By American Express, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by NASDAQ. NASDAQ, shaping the new world of investing.
Minnesota Vikings with their first offensive series starting from their 20. Three wide receivers, Matthew Hatchett, the third wide receiver, and Randall Cunningham is sacked inside the 10-yard line by former Viking Roy Barker. Loss of 10 on the play. Here's the Minnesota offense that we'll see today. Randall Cunningham going in as a 2-4 career mark as quarterback. It's a good offensive line with Stussy, McDaniel, Everett Lindsey, who's been banged up, Dixon and Corey Stringer at right tackle. Robert Smith and Charles Evans in the backfield. Chris Carter and Jake Reed are the big weapons, and Andrew Glover, the tight end. Second down and 20 following that loss, and the handoff is to Robert Smith, who brings it up to the 14-yard line, and that will set up third and long. The 49er defense, which led the NFL, former Viking Chris Dolman, Dana Stubblefield, the defensive player of the year in the league. Familiar names of Ken Norton Jr., Gary Plummer, and Lee Woodall, the linebackers. Marquez Pope, healthier than he was, with Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, and the veteran Rod Woodson. Third and 16. Receivers for Randall Cunningham, who punts once, and David Palmer cannot handle the quail, and once again pressure up the middle on Cunningham.
That Corey Stringer in this first series had his hands full. One with Roy Barker on the sack, and second time with Kevin Green getting to push up the field real quick. They're going to do anything in the passing game. They have to be able to protect Randall Cunningham and give him some time to be able to look down the field.
Mitch Berger will kick from the goal line, and Rod Woodson, who has returned only one punt this year for the 49ers, is back deep. And a shank kick off to the right and out of bounds.
That was hideous.
And the 49ers will get golden field position. And they really took their shots at Randall Cunningham. And the 49ers, as a result of their solid defense, will get the ball back in Minnesota territory.
Watch Mitch Berger, the punter. Looks like this snap kind of threw him out of kilter, and it threw off his rhythm. In fact, he kicked that ball farther into the stands than he did up the field. And then Berger's trying to tell him, no, it wasn't my fault. See what happened. The ball came over here. Gary Zahner said, I don't care where the ball snapped. Kick it up the field.
It was only a 12-yard punt, and the 49ers have the ball on the Viking 26. A pump fake. Young gets hit as he throws it, and it's incomplete. That pass was intended downfield for J.J. Stokes.
Flags down there on the play.
Yes, at the 6-yard line.
I heard Howie Long and Ronnie Lott talking about John Randall and Derek Deese.
Contact, number 20, defense.
Dwayne Washington.
Well, that time, John Randall won the battle, which is one for Howie. Then on the outside, Dwayne Washington, they called that on the defense when really that thing could have gone either way. You can't impede the progress of the receiver. You can't jump in, but you also have to be able to defend the receiver. They called that on the defense.
And they will spot the ball at the 21-yard line. Bob McElwee, the referee in today's game, and that is a first down on the penalty against Dwayne Washington. Here's Kirby with William Floyd blocking, and Kirby gets tripped up from behind by Robert Griffith, who makes a fine play in a gain of 1.
I like him. I like Robert Griffith. I like his game. I like his attitude. He shows up ready to play. He's a good preparer. And he also will give you a whack. Not the biggest guy at 200 pounds, but he'll throw all 200 pounds at you. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Van McElroy from the old Raiders safety, where he wasn't very big, but all that big that he had, he threw on you.
Leonard Wheeler has replaced Dwayne Washington at cornerback after that penalty. And here is a rollout on 2nd and 8, and the pass is caught by Brent Jones. And Brent Jones, the tight end, with a flag is down. Another penalty at a first down at the 5-yard line.
This one's going to go against Minnesota, so they'll
Number
decline.
99 defense lined up in the neutral zone.
And that is the rookie Stalin Colonnade.
They're just going to drag Brent Jones all the way across inside. And did you see the rookie inside, Dwayne Rudd? See, that's another rookie mistake. Because the rookie has to wheel. And that just comes from not seeing the play a bunch of times. You're going to take advantage of the young mistakes. Dwayne Rudd bit inside, and then he has to wheel and look for the tight end on the cross. He didn't see it in time, and Brent Jones ate it up.
First and goal for the 49ers on the 4. And a whistle, and the officials conferring. And the time on the main scoreboard is not accurate. They had 10 minutes and about 19 seconds on the main scoreboard when you're looking at the correct time, which shows 9:02 remaining in the first quarter. Now they've adjusted it. Well, Dennis Green rolling the dice, and the Vikings had lost 5 of their last 6.
One of the stadium clocks was not running. 9:02 is correct.
And Steve Young was the first man to see the disparity.
Well, let me turn around and point it behind him, which proves the man has eyes in back of his head.
Sure does. First and goal. And the handoff to the 1-yard line, Terry Kirby. That'll bring up 2nd and goal at about the 1-yard line. We mentioned the Vikings losing 5 of their last 6 games. Got into the playoffs by virtue of a win over the Indianapolis Colts in the final game of the regular season, and then the dramatic rally against the Giants last week.
And the one thing that they cannot do, they just cannot do, is they can't beat themselves. And you can't shank a punt for 12 yards. And you can't get a penalty on pass interference to set the San Francisco team up. You're going to have a tough enough time to beat them when you do everything right.
2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. And William Floyd fighting his way in for the touchdown.
That was good grunt football right there. And they had their grunt backfield in. Edwards, number 44, the rookie out of Notre Dame, and then William Floyd. When you get those 2 grunts back there, you know they're just going to root hog it out.
William Floyd, who scored a touchdown against the Vikings in their regular season matchup, gets one here. And one thing the Vikings wanted to avoid, falling behind against San Francisco, as they did 21-0 in their earlier meeting. Gary Anderson is aboard to try the extra point. And the kick is good. So the shank punt by Berger giving the Niners great field position. And William Floyd goes in from the 1. And the Niners lead it 7-0.
Watch Gogan right here on Williams. He takes care of him. Scraffer will take care of Clemens. They will isolate with the back on Bursic. And then it's the running back versus a linebacker who can get there first. William Floyd was able to beat Ed McDaniel into the end zone. And then after he gives all those smooches to the crowd, he also gives the ball away.
Nice gesture by William Floyd, who has come back from severe knee surgery.
You know, Dick, I see a difference with William Floyd. And I think the guy who's made a difference with him is their running backs coach, old number 44 for the San Francisco 49ers.
Tommy Bardell.
No, not Tommy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, let's see. They had
Tom Rathman.
Tom Rathman, of course.
Tom Rathman is now coaching the running backs for this team, and I think he's made a big difference with them. I think he's calmed them down. You don't see as much, all that gesturing stuff and yelling and screaming. He's calmed them down, and he's got them back to his game.
And who is more professional than Tom Rathman when he played fullback?
Excellent point. And a tough guy and the right approach, and I think he's brought that to William Floyd.
We're having problems with the big clock in the stadium, thus the delay. Tommy Thompson getting set to kick off. That is the correct time remaining in the quarter, 8:03. And both clocks show 8:03. Giving the Vikings time to ponder their plight right now, trailing 7-0. And Thompson getting set to kick off. David Palmer and Mo Williams are back deep for the Minnesota Vikings. It is a short end-over-end kick, and it's David Palmer returning from the 10-yard line. And Palmer breaks out of the pack. Palmer had a 51-yard kickoff return against the Giants last week, and this one returned 29. And now for a McDonald's game break in the first quarter of the AFC Divisional playoff game between the Steelers and Patriots. Cordell Stewart rolls left and cups upfield and sprints down the sideline for a 40-yard touchdown that made it 7-0, and the Steelers held on to win 7-6 and advanced to the AFC Championship. Vikings, with the fine return by Palmer, will start from their 39. And Robert Smith doesn't go anywhere, and it was Ken Norton Jr. and a flag thrown. The tee was still out on the field when the Vikings ran their first play from scrimmage.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 73 offense.
Todd
5 yards,
Stussy.
first down.
Anytime you see the flag thrown like that and the whistle blown before the play goes, you know that's coming back on the offense.
So we have had a flurry of yellow flags to start this game. First and 15 now for Minnesota.
I got the ball.
Cunningham getting pressure.
Oh, he's got it
downfield. That's 6 points. Chris Carter wide open, and Carter will score for Minnesota.
Marquez Pope bit, and he stopped. And once he stopped, this goes back to what Pam Oliver was talking about in our pregame show. Randall Cunningham and Chris Carter. Broken play was supposed to be a screen to the top side, but it got broken down, and Chris Carter said, forget it, I'll just keep on going. All else fails, throw it to me deep. They break the coverage. Cunningham knows, is on the same page with Carter, and it's 6 points.
66-yard touchdown pass by the former teammates of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Marquez Pope, who was burned for 2 touchdowns against the Vikings in their previous meeting, the extra point is good by Eddie Murray, and this was a piece of cake for the Minnesota Vikings, who tie it up in a hurry, 7-7. And there they are, the 2 people responsible on that last play. Marquez Pope burned, and Merton Hanks, the 2 safeties, and Chris Carter with his 4th career postseason touchdown catch and the longest pass play for the Vikings this season.
There was miscommunication on that one. I think Pope was right. I think Hanks was wrong.
And the kickoff by Berger, and Levy returning from the 10-yard line. Chuck Levy is corralled, and another flag goes down at the 22-yard line after a return of 12 yards.
Flagfest.
Yes, it is. And it will be called against the 49ers.
Here's what happens, man. Have the safety over the top. They're going to start running a screen out here. Marquez Pope will get a jam and turn him over to the safety. Well, what happens is Hanks sees the screen and starts to bite. And when that happens, Chris Carter knows Randall Cunningham. You heard Pam Oliver on our pregame show talk about it. See, there's the screen up top. That's when he bit. All else fails, go deep. He'll get it to you. Chris Carter kept on going, knew it was going to happen, and it was 6 quick.
49ers will start from the 9-yard line. Leonard Wheeler replacing Corey Fuller in the secondary, and Chuck Levy comes in at running back, and he is hit immediately by the middle linebacker Ed McDaniel. And so the 49ers using Chuck Levy as a backup running back this week. He's also been used as a wide receiver this year.
Well, what he brings to this offense is explosiveness. I think when they lost Garrison Hurst, they lost that big play explosiveness. What Chuck Levy will give you is great speed, but he doesn't give you great blocking and pass protection, and that's what they're a little leery about.
Second down and 11, a loss on the play. The slant to J.J. Stokes, and he's wrapped up by Leonard Wheeler, and that'll be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
And you move John Randall, one of those other changes, from the inside to the outside. He's going to be working on Derek Deese. And what they do there is they're just sliding to the outside. So you're going to take Deese and you move him out wide, and then you take Big Ray Brown to give you a big, powerful body on Randall.
One of the big moves made was to move John Randall from under tackle to defensive end in the last month of the year. Third down and 3. Young with the short drop and the pass, and holding onto it for a first down is J.J. Stokes. Dwayne Washington in the game as a nickelback made the tackle, but a fine catch and a gain of 6.
And I also think that J.J. Stokes this year really stepped up. Now, I don't think he is where he's going to be, but he's capable of making big plays, because I believe this year he learned how to use that big body. You saw it right there. They throw it up high, he'll go up and get it, and he shields the defender from the ball with that 6'5" frame.
And he had to deliver with Jerry Rice unable to play virtually the entire season. 49ers with a first down on the 22-yard line. Here is Chuck Levy, and Levy picks up about 3 yards on the play. The Bay Area here in San Francisco, and the sun splashing down from above, but rain is forecast before this afternoon is over. We've had rain showers on and off the last couple of days, and cool temperatures as you find this time of the year.
It is just gorgeous here right now.
Second down and 8 with under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Play fake. Steve Young gets by one defender, and Young is looking at that does not count. It was out of bounds, and a flag goes down. Brent Jones had stepped out of bounds with his right foot before he caught the pass.
Yeah, and that was another win for John Randall on Derek Deese. And that's a good job by the officials. They're right on top of it.
Out of bounds, came back in and touched the pass. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Watch John Randall. He's going to be working speeds. It's one of the reasons that they put him to the outside is to give him a little bit more room to work with. Even though William Floyd stepped up, he also made a miss. Now you can see Brent Jones is going to run. Wheeler stays right with him. Now he turns back and loses where he is on the field. That foot on the outside, it stepped out right back up there. The official, right there. See, there's the foot goes out of bounds. The official was up here looking down the sideline, saw it, and made the right call.
Brent Jones retiring after the season ends, whenever that is. Second down and 13 for the 49ers, and a deep drop this time by Young. He's being chased. He gets away from Jason Fisk and will get the first down beyond the 30, close to the 35-yard line, and a nifty bit of running by Steve Young, who picks up 16.
Well, where he wanted to go was to Terrell Owens, and they were going to cross him back inside, but they did a great job right there. It was Ed McDaniel, and they took that away, and then he had to come off that coverage and look to Stokes down the field, but Fuller's right on top of him. Now, once everything is cleared out of the way, Steve Young puts into play what he hasn't all season long, and that's those legs to make a big play.
He has carried twice for 24 yards, and a first down for San Francisco on the 35. Chuck Levy in motion, And the handoff is to William Floyd. And Floyd will get a couple on first down.
Nick, you know who I think for the Minnesota Vikings, who stepped his game up here in about the last 3 weeks, has been Jerry Ball. I think Jerry Ball is a big, solid guy. Obviously, he's on the sideline right at this point. But when Jerry Ball has been in there, he's given them a point, much like they do with Gilbert Brown. So you have a point, you can establish one area to work off of.
49ers rushing for 57 yards. The Vikings only 4, but we're tied 7-7. Second down and 8. Rolling out is Steve Young, and his pass caught by J.J. Stokes. First down near midfield. So Stokes has made a couple of fine catches. This one good for 12.
Remember earlier in the game when Steve Young took off and then Dwayne Rudd with that great speed went out, made the play. Now, this is when speed gets you into trouble and inexperience. Rudd right now is going to see Terrell Owens go out. They're playing their zones. He's got to be able to sit out there. You give this up. See, he jumps it. He jumps it and opens up the guy behind him. And that's just inexperience. Again, it's that just not being able to play a lot and not seeing things.
That is understandable, I would think, under the circumstances. Young's pass, and Terrell Owens downfield makes another circus catch by one of the Niner receivers. 18 yards to the Minnesota 31. Torian Gray upends Terrell Owens.
You know who's pretty good? Steve Young.
You notice.
He's not bad. They're going to give up the inside, knowing that the safety's going to be there. He sets it up high. Owens will go up and get the ball. He's a big physical receiver. And again, I believe his best days are coming.
Both Stokes and Terrell Owens, in the absence of Jerry Rice, delivered big time for the Niners this year. First and 10 at the 31. Young looking for a receiver and throws it away.
Dick, I think, and here's a perfect example of where Jerry Ball has picked his game up. Because they were going to try to run a screen. And he felt, you're going to watch him right inside, number 96. He's a big old man, and he feels the guy's getting out of there quick. There's a reason why that happens. So he just turned, looked around, saw that William Floyd was out, and just jumped him. And because Jerry Ball recognized it through his experience, he's able to take that play away.
10th play of the drive coming up for the 49ers. Second down and 10. And they'll keep it on the ground, and Chuck Levy is hit by Ed McDaniel, and a loss on the play of 2 yards. The 49ers have been in Minnesota territory 3 times today and have managed to score 1 touchdown.
Did you see the play that McDaniel made right there? That's what he'll give you. Very, very decisive. When he sees it, he goes and attacks it. Now, one of the problems is he's still not real comfortable with all the reads.
Taking Jeff Brady's place, who went out injured reserve with a neck injury. 49ers with a amazing ball control and the lead when they face a third down and 12. Young going up the middle, and it's tipped and nearly caught. Ed McDaniel got his hands on the ball, and it was nearly caught by Mark Harris, who's the 3rd wide receiver for the Niners today. And now it's 4th down and a decision for San Francisco.
Hey, one of the things that Ed McDaniel does also, watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. What he's looking at, Steve Young. He knows he has the short underneath, but he's also watching Young into that zone to see where he's going with the ball. And because he's able to read Steve Young and that drop, he gets right back up there and knocks the ball out. Now, I probably would have made that catch, but I got to talk to him about it.
No question. You have that athletic ability to do that.
And maybe not.
Tommy Thompson will kick and try to keep it in the field of play, but it bounces at the goal line and is down inside the 5-yard line, and it is a touchback. They rule it a touchback, and the ball will come out to the 20. Well, Sunday, laugh in the new year with the world's funniest, and then hit the stage with a brand new Simpsons and catch the season's most surprising new comedy, Ask Harriet, plus a brand new X-Files. It all begins Sunday at 7, 6 Central on Fox. Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. Cam Oliver is here as well at San Francisco. We're tied 7-7 with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Vikings with one big strike to Chris Carter, 66 yards for the score, but the Niners have controlled the ball otherwise. Minnesota first down on the 20. Robert Smith trying to cut inside, and he gets maybe a yard. The Minnesota Vikings, who have been perennial playoff participants, although they missed last year, have had different quarterbacks, which is unusual in the 90s. Sean Salisbury, the veteran Jim McMahon, Warren Moon, Brad Johnson, and of course Randall Cunningham this year. Brad Johnson was injured, had neck surgery. There he is. He had a fine year until he got hurt. Second down and 8. Leroy Horde is in at running back, and there comes the pressure, and the pass nearly caught by Jake Reed, but he was defensed nicely by Marquez Pope.
And Marquez Pope is starting to get back to the game that he's very, very comfortable with, and that is getting your hands on the receiver. That time he kind of doesn't have a great jam, but he's able to be physical at the end and finish it off. So many times you hear about running backs finishing off a run. That's an example of a defender finishing off a play.
8 seconds remain in the first quarter. Third down and 8 for Minnesota. Randall Cunningham trying to escape, and the pass intended for Matthew Hatchett. A flag is down near midfield, and the rookie Matthew Hatchett from Langston in Oklahoma complaining to the field judge, but they'll rule this as an incompleted pass, but a flag was thrown. Time has run out in the first quarter. Bob McElwee over to sort things out.
Defensive pass interference, number 26. The pass is incomplete. First down at the spot of the
Rod
flag.
Woodson called for pass interference as time runs out, and that will give the Vikings a gain of 25 as a result of the penalty. And that is the end of the first quarter here in San Francisco with a score. The Vikings 7, the 49ers 7.
Yeah, I think this is a bad call on Rod Woodson. I don't think there's any interference. However, this was a catch. Watch Matt Hatchett come back to the ball, gets his fingers underneath, has control, rolls over, and still stays with it. So they throw the flag. They call it incompletion. They're wrong on both calls, but they're right with where the ball should be.
Absolutely. Hatchett has caught 3 passes in the regular season with a fine catch here, and Leroy Horde trying to bounce off the middle is knocked back by a horde of red jerseys led by Lee Woodall. No gain. The forward progress still at the 47-yard line of Minnesota. Start of the second quarter. Tied 7-7, and one of the world's most enduring symbols. 1988 marks the 73rd consecutive year that a Goodyear blimp has appeared at a major sporting event.
That's the granddaddy of them all, the old Goodyear Blimpski.
I think they refer to it as a Blimpski, I wonder.
They do now.
Second down and 10. Cunningham on a good play fake goes underneath, and the pass caught by Robert Smith. And Smith, short of the first down by 2 yards, is tackled at the San Francisco 45 by Gary Plummer. That was a gain of 8.
But a pretty good job inside of blocking Stubblefield and Young. Dana Stubblefield, Defensive Player of the Year. And then Bryant Young, who personally I believe Bryant Young's a better player. I think Bryant Young is better
up this year.
And he's had bad ankles. But he feels he's more healthy now than he's been all year. But right now, the inside 3 of Minnesota is handling those 2 guys.
Third and 2. Cunningham lofts it out to Charles Evans, the fullback. He's turned around, and it is incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. Marquez Pope was covering on the play. Early here in the second quarter, the Vikings on one big pass play from Cunningham to Chris Carter got their 7, but the 49ers have had a major edge in ball control.
And I noticed with Randall Cunningham in there, these receivers, I don't believe they've adjusted to him, because I see a lot of dropped balls.
Mitch Berger, who shanked his first punt of 12 yards. This one is a good one. High kick. And it bounces at the 13 and is down by Greg DeLong. A 29-yard kick, but they got the job done. Here was Evans, and he couldn't hold on. We'll be right back.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff is brought to you by Nike. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Microsoft, where do you want to go today? And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
And welcome back to San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, one of the great landmarks. Tied 7-7. Early here in the second quarter, the 49ers have run on first down 7 times, passed twice, as they begin from their 16-yard line. J.J. Stokes is in motion. This time Steve Young will throw. The quick pass is caught by Terrell Owens, and Owens will get the first down barely beyond the 26-yard line.
One of the things the 49ers like to do is like to attack the inside of the defense in the middle of that field. They like the slant routes. They like that kind of skinny post, that seam post, anything they can get to the inside. And they've been effective with it. And where that happens is right down here. It's right down in this area. That's where they like to try to attack it. They'll spread you out with your wide outs and with motion, and then they'll come back inside.
They're going to measure, and it is a first down. What about the Minnesota Vikings confidence factor after the loss 4 weeks ago, at least being tied, even though they haven't had much of a chance on offense today?
I think the biggest thing is the familiarity about it. And then they've made some changes so they believe they're better than they were 4 weeks ago. And then you talk yourself into things. Look, right now in this game, they haven't done anything, and it's still 7-7.
First down on the 27. Kirby is being stopped, and Dwayne Rudd. There is an example of that speed and explosiveness that Dennis Green likes in his rookies on defense, and a loss of 6.
This Dwayne Rudd is going to get better and better. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He's seeing things for the first time, but he can run, and he's aggressive. And because of those two things, and he's a smart kid. I mean, he's going to be a guy who studies and stays after it. He will make plays.
One of 4 rookie starters in the lineup, and they came in the month of December. Rudd was the #1 draft pick from Alabama. Second down, and the pass underneath to Kirby. And Kirby gets to the 31-yard line, short of the first down by about 6 or 7. Ed McDaniel and Corey Fuller making the play.
I believe Terry Kirby's strength is his ability to catch the ball. I think he's most effective when you're dumping him out of the backfield. I don't believe he's a real physical runner. There are times he goes down too easy. And he's got to get better if he's going to stay, it's only his 5th season, at being able to run through tackles.
Kirby gained 418 yards, way behind Garrison Hurst, who went over 1,000 yards this year. Third down and 7. On the hard count, flag is down, and this pass is ruled complete at the 40-yard line by Terrell Owens, but a penalty marker down. There was that hard count by Steve Young, Bob McElwee.
Illegal motion, number 41, offense.
And it's on Kirby.
5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Third down.
And it'll still be third down, and 5 yards will be marked off. So it'll be 3rd and 12 coming up for Steve Mariucci's 49ers.
He adjusted in the backfield. He basically shifted. Once you shift, you have to stay put. He was still in the process of moving when the ball was snapped, so there was your motion.
There you see J.J. Stokes and Mark Harris on the right side. Terrell Owens up top. 3rd and 12. And here's Stokes with his 5th catch of the game, but he'll be stopped short of the first down.
That's good defense by the Minnesota Vikings. They knew it was 3rd and 12, so now you keep your discipline and you stay past where you make them throw underneath. You stay at your first down mark and force the ball to be thrown in front of you. I told you about Robert Griffiths, about just being a tough guy. I mean, he will just attack anything. He don't care. And he'll hit him, he'll say a couple things, he'll say, hey, big guy, yeah, way to take it easy.
He plays the game like a linebacker. Tommy Thompson will kick, and David Palmer back deep for Minnesota. And a line drive, good kick by Thompson, and Palmer back to the 20. He breaks free once, but he can't get away, and he is dropped at the 23-yard line. A 48-yard punt. But so far, the Minnesota Viking defense, as a flag comes down, is held, especially on third down situations today. They have more than held their own, and now some shoving going on at the place in which Palmer was tackled.
Yeah, I think it's 29. I got
Been a busy day for Bob McElwee and his crew.
5-yard face mask foul against the kicking team, number 28, enforced from the end of the play. First down, timeout.
Curtis Buckley with the face mask. You'll see it here. 5 yards marked off. And will return with just under 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter with the game all even. Bit of a surprise thus far with the Vikings and 49ers tied 7-7. Here in the second quarter, Minnesota with a first down on their 28-yard line. Out of the I formation. And the up man is Charles Evans. And no gain on the play. And now for a McDonald's game break with the Steelers leading 7-6 late in the fourth quarter in the AFC playoff. They gamble on 4th and goal at the 1. Cordell Stewart gets stuffed. A big defensive play. And the Patriots with the ball back. Drew Bledsoe goes back to pass. The ball knocked loose by Mike Vrabel. Jason Gilden recovers for the Steelers. And they win it 7-6 in advance to next week's AFC Championship game. Loss of 1 on that last play, 2nd and 11. And the pass from Cunningham is complete to Carter. He is hit immediately by Merton Hanks and a pickup of 5.
That was a nice tackle by Merton Hanks. What he did, he was able to just run through that. And then a nice job on the inside. You know, when they jump that line of scrimmage, you got to get rid of that ball quick because they're going to bring a blitz, and that was Woodson right in his face. Then on the outside, when the ball is thrown, Hanks makes a nice play.
Kevin Green has come into the game. The pass rusher had over 10.5 sacks. And David Palmer, number 22, as a wide receiver in the slot on 3rd and 6. And Dolman putting pressure on Randall Cunningham, and his pass incomplete, intended for Carter.
Oh, nice coverage.
Woodson all over him.
Yes, he was. He was right on top of him. Because what Rod Woodson did very well was knew where his safety help was. If you're going to be a good defensive player, you have to always know where your help lies. See how he tried to take something away? And then to the other side is Jake Reed. Again, Marquez Pope holding the inside, knowing that he has help to the outside. Drakeford missed his jam, and David Palmer was open to the middle of the field.
So the 49ers hold the fort on 3rd down, and Mitch Berger, and another kick, not a good one. The wind may have affected that, however, and it is going to be down at the 39-yard line. A 30-yard kick this time by Berger. We'll be right back. Today's Aflac Trivia question is, since 1990, which is the only NFC team to lose a divisional playoff game at home? The answer coming up.
I'll say this right now, the longer this game stays close, advantage Minnesota.
They have done a good job defensively. Let's see what they do on this series. 1st and 10 Niners at the 39-yard line. Chuck Levy in motion, and the running back, nice also receiver, makes the catch and a gain of about 6 yards, tackled by Robert Griffith.
That's a nice job by Robert Griffith, and you can see what San Francisco did through their first 4 possessions. The 1 touchdown came as the result of a bad punt. It was a shank, gave him the short field. Since that time, however, Minnesota's done a pretty good job.
You got to give credit for a team that was 29th in the league defensively. 2nd down and 4. And to give us to Kirby. Terry Kirby looking for room. And that's That's about as good a burst as we've seen Terry Kirby show. 11 yards and a first down to the Viking 44. Finally, Torian Gray, the free safety.
One of the things that the 49ers like to do is get to this ball to the outside. He just bounces it. And you see Robert Smith was blocked, and then he turns his shoulders, and this is what he has to do well. So he's got to be physical when he runs. He ran right through 2 tackles, is finally tackled at the other end, but not before picking up the first down.
7 carries and 33 yards for Kirby. He carried 17 in their first meeting, a season's high for number 41. First and 10. J.J. Stokes gets away from Leonard Wheeler and out of bounds and gets a 49er first down. A gain of 12 more yards. So Wheeler missed the tackle and it cost the Vikings.
That was J.J. Stokes used his big body twice. Once for Wheeler to miss it, and the second time the photographer on the sideline, who's just now getting up. J.J. Stokes has that big body I told you about. He's 215 to 220 pounds, 6'5". Watch, he'll take the blow, spin. Nice job. Was able to get his arm in there and fend it off. And then on the other side, Corey Fuller gives him, and then there goes the NFL film. NFL film just got waxed.
J.J. Stokes, they don't get often waxed, do they? Those guys are down there.
They'll make a show out of it.
That's right, they will. First down at the 32-yard line, and the pass overthrown.
That's going to be
Stokes and a flag down.
Torian Gray cut him off. Yeah, cut right in front of him. He drew a beat on the ball and wanted to be able to get there, but he ran right through J.J. Stokes.
Critical penalty against the Vikings, and another flag goes down, and we'll have an unsportsmanlike conduct call apparently.
Defensive pass interference, number 23. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 57, for kicking the flag. Half the distance, first down.
And that is a rookie mistake by Dwayne Rudd. You can't do that.
Well, Torian Gray saw the whole thing. Nice job of Fuller holding the outside, keeps the safety, Torian Gray, to the top side. Actually, Gray got a little bit up too high. He dove in, went in front of him, cut him off, and that's the right call. And then after the flag was thrown, Dwayne Rudd, with a little bit too much emotion, kicked it about 10 yards.
It'll be first and goal at the 2-yard line for the Niners, trying to break the tie here in the second quarter. Steve Young's quick pass, and it's intercepted by Corey Fuller. Now they say incomplete. It was intended for Brent Jones, and off of his hands as Young checking with the umpire. Very nearly a turnover here.
Ball's thrown quick. Nice job by Dixon Edwards. Ooh, that's a great job by Brent Jones at the end.
Number 59, defense, half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
Dixon Edwards.
Did you see Brent Jones at the end? Get his hand back up in there.
To an eligible position.
And rake the ball through so it wasn't intercepted. That's a great effort. Here's the hold right off the top. You can get a jam, but you can't hold on to him like that. Now ball goes up. Watch the hand. See, he puts the hand, his right hand, back up inside and rakes it through.
That prevented the interception, and Kirby is going to bust through for his second touchdown of the game. Terry Kirby. And the 49ers, who coming in without Garrison Hurst and going more to the pass than the run, have scored 2 rushing touchdowns and lead now 13-7. And it was all set up by the pass interference penalty that put the ball in at first and goal for the 49ers. And Gary Anderson with the extra point. Let's hear that touchdown. The 49ers taking a 14-7 lead with 6:28 remaining in the second quarter. kick will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. So Terry Kirby with the touchdown rushing. William Floyd scored the first one for the Niners. And tomorrow it's the second of the NFC Divisional Playoff games on Fox as NFC Central foes collide with the Buccaneers clash with the Green Bay Packers. It starts with a special one-hour pregame show live from Green Bay, followed by all the action. Coverage begins tomorrow at a special time, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
Watch Curtis Buckley and Chris Walsh talk about getting physical when you have to. Buckley just lowered the boom with a nice headbutt. He was happy about it.
Vikings.
It's amazing what'll make you happy on a football field.
So many things happen away from the ball. Robert Smith, who hasn't been able to do much on the ground, gets a couple on first down. But so many of the fine hits and the subtle hits happened on plays away from the action.
Half the time people never see him, but a guy like Buckley, he knew what he did. And that's what got him excited. The other thing that's getting this 49er defense excited right now is they're not allowing any kind of running against them on the inside, and that's Stubblefield and Young.
Minnesota offense, one big play, and that's how they scored their seventh. Here is Cunningham is being rushed. It's intercepted by Ken Norton Jr., and he'll run it in for the touchdown. No flags down. 23 yards for the score, and it was Roy Barker who set it up with the big pressure coming clean against Randall Cunningham.
Cunningham got pressure. He also had coverage. He was looking for Hunter Goodwin on the outside, but Ken Norton Jr. was all over him. See, Tim McDonald jumps inside, so that frees up the tackle, which means Roy Barker is clean. And then Ken Norton Jr. was right on top of Hunter Goodwin. He should have just thrown the ball away. Bad decision.
Gary Anderson with the extra point, and now the Vikings take a 21-7 lead, and they had a 21-7 lead in the earlier game this year. Norton, yeah, that's a TKO.
Watch Ken Norton Jr. right here, 51, working on Hunter Goodwin, 87. He gets the nice jam and then stays with him, and actually it's just a bad ball. And then the ball is thrown underneath, but you still have to be able to make the play, which Norton does. The guy responsible for this touchdown as Norton punches the bag is right here, Tim McDonald. Because he jumps inside, he forces the tackle to come down, which makes Roy Barker come clean and forces the bad throw.
So Cunningham with the interception, return for a touchdown. Thompson kicking off. And again, it's deep. He's got the wind in his favor. It is down by David Palmer for a touchback. And this is going to be a critical offensive sequence. The Vikings don't want to see this game get away from them, trailing 21-7. Once again, today's Aflac trivia question is, since 1990, which is the only NFC team to lose a divisional playoff game at home? And the answer? San Francisco 49ers, who lost to the Packers 2 years ago in this very divisional playoff game. First down for the Vikings on the 20. Play fake, and Cunningham's pass is caught. And that is going to be Andrew Glover, another former Raider, down the middle, and a gain of 32 yards, quiets the crowd as he throws it to midfield.
You know, as bad a decision as it was on the interception for a touchdown is as good as a read as this is right here. They go with the two deep. They split the field. Andrew Glover is right down, matched up with Lee Woodall. Woodall has to run with him through the zone. Cunningham sees it and delivers.
Only the third first down for the Vikings. Cunningham again to the air, and this one is caught by Jake Reed, and that will be another Minnesota first down inside the 40. Rod Woodson wrapped him up, but not before a gain of 11.
Nice job by the offensive line of giving Cunningham time to throw the football. He's gotten the time, the ball's coming out nice and crisp.
Well, the Vikings have done business when they've hit on the big pass plays thus far. Under 4.5 remaining in the first half. Here's Robert Smith, nothing there. The Vikings unable to run the ball at all against this 49er defense.
And I think part of that has been Bryant Young inside. I think Bryant Young is back. Yeah. He wasn't. I mean, watch him against Kansas City. Did not play well. Couldn't push off the ankles. At the end of the season, still wasn't the same guy. I think this is the best I've seen Bryant Young play in a while. He's not been healthy, but he's playing healthy today.
Pretty good tandem in there with Dana Stubblefield, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year at tackle. Second down and 11, and a fake reverse. Cunningham throws, and the pass knocked down. Double covered was Jake Reed, and it was Merton Hanks. And he is holding on to that right knee. Make it the left, make it both knees.
Randall Cunningham is down also. He got some pressure from Chris Dolman. Now he's popping up.
But not Merton Hanks. He's still down.
Looks like he's holding, just trying to get the oil can out on that right knee. Just like the tip. All right. Dolman working on Stussy. Comes around and he gets a shot and goes down. And then on the other side, Chris Carter working on Marquez Pope. He's getting bounced around like a pinball inside. Ball was thrown over the top. And Merton Hanks, this ball was just thrown up. Actually, that's a nice job of Jake Reed of going up to knock that ball away. Good job of transition by Jake Reed. Oh, I see what happened. Tim McDonald fell into that right knee and looks like he kind of got jammed back.
Meanwhile, Randall Cunningham is on the turf, and
he's stretching out something.
The backup quarterback is Jay Walker for the Minnesota Vikings, and there is Walker starting to loosen up. Randall Cunningham was the backup to Brad Johnson this year, and Vikings are the only team playing the backup quarterback into the playoffs.
Watch Dolman beating Stussy to the top side. Cunningham just threw that one up.
Jay Walker is going to come in.
See Stussy at the end. I mean, yeah, that must be a bad feeling for an offensive lineman. You just gave up the sack. You see your quarterback get hit in the face, and you stand there watch it. And all you can do is go over and walk to him and say, "Can I help you up?"
And there's nothing that guy can do either. Brad Johnson. So Jay Walker, in his third year from Howard University, played in his first NFL game against the Cardinals on December the 1st in the fourth quarter. He faces a third down and 11. And a flag is down. Two of them, in fact. And we'll have a false start against Minnesota.
Snap, number 77, offense. 5 yards, third down.
Corey Stringer, the right tackle, had moved. So that's not good news for Dennis Green, but Randall Cunningham is all right and back in the huddle. But it'll be third down and 16 now for the Vikings. And the report on Randall Cunningham, he simply had the wind knocked out of him. Three wide receivers for the Vikings. On the Niner 45. Cunningham taking off. Randall Cunningham is going to be upended about 5 yards shy of the first down by Frankie Smith, who came into the game.
I think Randall Cunningham took off and ran, but had he been able to look down the sideline, the same thing. Jake Reed wide open. I mean, you can't get more open than that. The corner forced him up the sideline expecting safety help, but nobody was there.
Reed held to only one catch for 10 yards. Now Pittsburgher with the punt. Fair catch called for, and the Vikings are going to down it inside the 5, close to about the 2-yard line. 2:45 remaining in the first half, with the 49ers leading the Vikings 21-7. These aerial pictures courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. And today's pilot is Joel Chamberlain from Norwood, Massachusetts, outside of Boston. The granddaddy of them all, according to my partner.
There's the camera down on the base, right there. the eye in the sky.
And this is a nice sky to show pictures from in the Bay Area. It's cloudy now. Rain is expected before the end of this afternoon. 49ers with a first down on the 2-yard line, and Kirby bottled up after a gain of about 1 or 2. Terry Kirby and William Floyd, the two starting running backs, each scoring touchdowns today for the 49ers. And Ken Norton Jr. returning an interception for a touchdown.
There's Steve Young calming down the troops in there. Remember in the first game, Steve Young was 20 for 25. He's 11 out of 15 right now, which makes him 31 out of 40 for the...
So that percentage is pretty impressive.
Not bad. Not bad.
Second down and 9. And close to the first down, and may have it as Dixon Edwards makes the stop, and we'll have our 2-minute warning here in San Francisco with the Niners leading 21-7.
Watch William Floyd, the fullback, going to take on the linebacker, and he's the reason for this right there. Boom, able to do that, and then Robert Griffiths misses the tackle. He also saw a nice block by Gogan and Strafford, but then watch the end of this. See, little stomp by Stalin Colonay on Gogan, and then Gogan gives him a push, and then Strafford gives him a headbutt. Look who comes to rescue. Look, there's a little bit of difference here. Steve Young down here, Strafford up there.
Why are they picking on Gogan?
Gogan just has that thing in him, like you just want to kick him. Like a big old lapdog.
It was a big first down for the 49ers. 2 minutes remaining in the first half as the rain begins to fall here in San Francisco. And the pass out on the flat to Terry Kirby, and he's got it. Completion up to the 16 for a minimum gain. Chris Dahlman slowly getting back to his feet as the clock is running.
Jesse Sapolo coming in.
Dahlman is limping off, and a timeout called by the 49ers. That is the first timeout called by either team here in the first half. Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, which will be live from Green Bay, JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie with the highlight of that AFC divisional playoff. Our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second postseason stats, an interview with Brett Favre of the Packers, and that's all coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report. There you see Jesse Sapolo, who is a longtime veteran of the 49ers, working with Steve Young.
Had heart surgery this offseason.
Yes, he did. Good to see him back. 16-year veteran as the 49er medical staff works on Chris Dahlman on the sideline. So the Niners have 2 timeouts remaining with 1:36 to go in the first half and face second down and 7. Looks to be close to another first down for the 49ers. Dwayne Rudd on the tackle. And I'll tell you, Kirby has done a terrific job running the ball where the Niners thought without Hurst they could not rely on the run today.
One of the things they're doing, they're running that right side behind Gogan and Strafford. They're also splitting them out. They have nice wide line splits on that right side. The Minnesota Vikings are lining up. You can see they got the first down. The Minnesota, by virtue of the fact of where they're lining up on the man, they're already giving themselves some space. Gogan and Strafford are getting nice line splits.
Terry Kirby, as a result, with 52 yards rushing on 11 carries. Winding down to a minute remaining.
See the splits right down there. They got a good yard between them.
On first down, Steve Young back to throw. Now running out of the pocket. And Young is going to get, let's see, another first down or close to it. Fernando Smith ran him out of bounds. And I think the 49ers will have another first down with under a minute remaining.
Funny, Steve Young was talking the other day about just getting out there and running. You know, Steve Young was always one of the fastest guys on this team. I mean, he and Jerry Rice used to run after practice, and he would take them. I mean, he could flat out fly. Probably the fastest guy on the 49er team.
Steve Young a lot smarter with his running this year. First and 10 at the 34-yard line. And Young again looking for someone. He finds Floyd, and he is hit immediately by Corey Fuller for a short gain of only 5. But the clock running with 45 seconds remaining in the half. The Minnesota Vikings have as many plays as the 49ers have first down. And it's beginning to show now on the scoreboard, 21-7. Young getting hit from behind and is down, and that was John Randall, the NFL sack leader with 15 and a half in the regular season, throws Young for a loss of 5.
Well, and that was a time when Derek Deese had him all by himself. You're watching right up here to the top. He's just going to take the beltway. He's going to go wide to the top side, just runs right by him. Again, that's one of the reasons that you put Randall at end, because you can let him use more space. When you're inside, even if you beat a guy, there's always a lot of guys bouncing around, and you have no room.
That's going to do it for the first half. And the big play was the Ken Norton interception return for a touchdown, and that's given the 49ers some breathing room. So that is the end of the first half with a score. The San Francisco 49ers 21, the Minnesota Vikings 7. And our Fox NFL special will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report live from Green Bay after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Dockers Halftime, brought to you by Dockers Khakis, the next best thing to home field advantage. Hey, nice pass.
At the half in San Francisco, 49ers 1/2 away from hosting the NFC Championship game, 14 on top of Randall and the Vikes.
Cunningham getting things going with an exciting play. This is a screen pass read by the 49ers, and Marquez Pope, right corner, turns Carter loose, thinking he has help from Merton Hanks. Merton Hanks playing out of position at free safety, gets caught up. Carter with a touchdown. It's 7-all. That was a 66-yarder. Now, back comes Roy Barker, former Viking. He gets right in Cunningham's face. He throws the interception. That time to Ken Norton Jr., 24-yard return, and it's 21-7 at the half. 49ers over the Vikings.
Vikings with only 18 rushing yards in the first half. Steelers advance to the AFC Championship game. Baseball-like score over the Patriots, 7-6. As we come back field side here at Green Bay, let's turn the running lot. Randall Cunningham made a big mistake. 49ers made him pay.
That's right. They made him pay. The defense is playing strong. But in the second half, you got to stay back, secondary. You got to make sure that you keep the guys in front. If you're able to do that, you should win this game.
Randall Cunningham needs to, when he has the time, see the second, see the third receiver. Berger, the punter, is killing them. Scrafford and Gogan, they are tough, and they are imposing their will on the Vikings front.
Whenever the 49ers have scored a defensive touchdown, they've won 18 straight.
And I owe you a bean, man.
I know you owe me.
I owe you a bean.
All right. Earlier today, we had a conversation with Brett Favre. We'll show you that as the Dockers halftime continues.
I'm Gary Plummer of the San Francisco 49ers. It was teamwork that earned me this Super Bowl ring. And teamwork wins in the community too. And that's what the 49ers are doing here. We're part of the NFL United Way team, making available the opportunity for those students who are at risk to receive an education. This is just one way in which the United Way is getting the job done by building better communities. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Playoff action continues tomorrow as the defending Super Bowl champion Packers host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right here at Lambeau Field. Pre-game show special time of 11:30 a.m. Eastern right here on Fox. As we welcome you back to the Dockers halftime, we are joined now by the three-time NFL MVP, a NFL league record indeed, Brett Favre. And aside from the fact that you don't have a coat, does that say anything?
No, well, if I didn't have the coat on, I know what y'all would say. Hey, man, you're not you rap very good. I know what y'all would say.
Well, we can't say that.
great minds think alike.
That's right.
Speaking of great minds, you've had some great games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're facing them for the third time. Any concern about that at all, facing them a third time?
I don't believe. I think what we have to do is go out and play our style of football and not turn the ball over. And if we can execute the way that we're coached to do, we should be fine.
The two games I know you lost, the Colts game and the Lions game, you did turn the ball over. You personally turned the ball over. Now, Brett, can you be patient as a quarterback, 10, 12, 15 play drives? If Tampa Bay is able to control the clock, how patient can you be?
Well, we'll find out. I like to go out and strike early, but that doesn't happen against Tony's style of defense. So I do have to be patient, and I hope that we can run the ball early, and then all of a sudden you can force them to come up and play an 8-man front and maybe get a big one. But I tell you, in the past 2 years, I've been a little more patient than I used to be, because when we started playing Dallas first couple of years, we had to go 17 plays to score. So you learn quickly, but that's the way we have to play this defense.
Hey, Brett, your kissing cousin over there, I know you guys are like that with the minds, but you don't have that. You don't have that MVP Super Bowl trophy.
Well, that's about the only thing that I don't have.
I don't have $15 million either. I'll give you a trophy. You give me some money.
I don't know about that. I don't need it that bad.
He doesn't bring that up much, does he?
Only every time he calls.
Yeah, I know. Earlier in the year, obviously you're where you want to be right now, and the team peaked, I would say, in the Dallas game up here. But earlier in the year, it looked like you were running for your life at times, and I think Verba at left tackle has kind of solidified things. Talk a little bit about what his addition to the offensive line has meant to you as the quarterback, the target.
Well, Ross said,
I'd like to say.
Yeah, I know. You've gotten me once or twice before, too. With those cleats you had, baseball cleats you wore. Here, right here.
Yeah, well.
Finally, they caught you in half. Yeah. That's another story.
Good, yeah.
Well, Ross has done a great job for us. I tell you, I always call him a true freshman. He's a rookie. And what he has done for us has been remarkable, because, as you know, the left tackle blocking for a right-handed quarterback is one of the most difficult positions on the field. He goes against the best players. He's done a great job. He brings a little spunk to the offense. He's in the huddle. We got Frank, who's like in his 12th year. He's like, just shut up, Ross, will you? We don't want to hear that stuff. Ross said, let's kill him. Let's do all this stuff. Frank's like, hey, just block, will you?
He's from Iowa.
Yeah, he's from Iowa. He's used to shucking corn out there.
Does your mama know you? She let you do that, man?
Well, she's so far away, she can't say anything.
You got a gift here?
Well, you know what? I got you guys something. Since you're always up here, and Terry, you're always calling me. I figured.
And you don't return my calls, by the way.
You always give me advice, so I might as well give you something so you can say that it's legitimate now. You own part of the team. You can't tell me what to do. Seriously,
get out here.
Got a little stock for you guys. Here you go, Howie.
Thank you.
Ronnie,
wow, look at
here you go.
Wow,
so you guys are
thank you.
part owners of the team, so now when you say something,
and when
we have to listen.
And when I call you, call me back because I am an owner.
I will echo what Howie and Ronnie have indicated. It is a little scary thought that you two do have minds that think just alike. We won't touch that one. Folks, keep in mind, Brett Favre will be on display tomorrow as the Green Bay Packers play host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pre-game show, again, special time, 11:30 a.m. Be sure to be tuned in right here on Fox, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. At the half, Minnesota Vikings trailing the San Francisco 49ers 21-7. On the other side of this commercial break, we'll rejoin Dick Stockton and Matt Miller.
You're watching the NFC Divisional Playoff on Fox.
As we get ready for the start of the third quarter here in San Francisco, the 49ers leading the Vikings 21-7. And this first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. It was a defensive touchdown, an interception by Ken Norton Jr., run in 23 yards for a score.
That's just a combination of a couple things, but the biggest one is just that Ken Norton being in the right place and maintaining his coverage. Then the other thing is, he goes over and he starts whacking that bag with a couple of his dad's uppercuts. And this is what happens. See, there's the camera on the goalpost. When he starts pounding the bag, you get a 7.2 on the Richter scale.
Shaking the foundations here at San Francisco. Well, at the top of the game, Matt, you said that one of the things the Vikings had to do was upset the rhythm of Steve Young if they were to have a chance, and they did not do that in the first half.
No, they haven't been able to get that done at all. 13 out of 17 in the first half. He's been able to throw. And then the biggest thing I also think is they're not tackling well. they've had a couple of key missed tackles in the first half. They've got to change that thing around.
Looking at the halftime statistics, and you know, with the Vikings scoring on that one big 66-yard touchdown strike from Cunningham to Carter, a big edge for the 49ers all the way around.
And I think just the way that the 49ers have been able to maintain the rhythm. You know, you can take all these numbers, time of possession, third down conversion, all that stuff. Just two things. They haven't been able to break the rhythm of the 49ers, and they haven't been able to get in any rhythm offensively.
And now getting ready for the second half kickoff. The Vikings will get the ball, and Steve Young, as Matt mentioned, 13 of 17 for 121 yards, and Tommy Thompson kicking off deep. And David Palmer returning this from a yard in the end zone. David Palmer brings it out, and he is tackled at the 26-yard line. And right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, talked to Dennis Green at the half. He says for the second half, the Vikings have got to do a better job of running the ball. He said we also just need offense, period. Defensively, he's not that dissatisfied with the way the guys are playing. He said there are too many penalties for his team, and he wants to see that improved. Also, for Chris Doman and the 49ers, he has a strained knee, and he is questionable. Let's go back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And, of course, that tackling issue that Matt mentioned, but the Vikings go to work from the 27. And the give is to Robert Smith, and the best running play of the day for the Vikings nets them 8 yards by Smith before Ken Norton brings him down.
And one of the things that these 49ers defensive tackles do, and Brian Young and Dana Stubblefield, is that occasionally they'll sit off the ball and they'll give about a yard of a cushion. And the reason they do that is twofold. First of all, they think they can read better, and secondly, they believe they're better laterally than they are. You see how they're off. See how they're right here? There's kind of a bubble on the inside.
Second down and 2, and again Robert Smith, and this time Brian Young slices through and stops Smith for a loss of 1.
Again, just going what we just talked about. It will take that and it'll allow him to read. He sits off and he sees what the lineman's going to do. Now he has great upper body strength. You can see. Just throws Everett Lindsay to the side, comes back and makes the tackle. There's that bubble we talked about, staying off the ball. There's the strength. And that, you know, I believe right there it wouldn't have mattered if he read him or not. He just overpowered him.
Yeah, right. Third down and 3. The Vikings 0 for 4 on third down conversions today. Flag is down. And usually this indicates a penalty against the offense, and it is a false start. Will be marked off.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 86, offense.
This was the wide receiver this time, Jake Reed. So instead of a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 8 will be the situation.
Heck, he probably was distracted there by Marquez Pope. Marquez Pope went out there and gave him a little bit of a old Ali shuffle.
But you know, Matt, Dennis Green told Pam about the penalties, and that was a bad one because that presents 3rd and long versus 3rd and short.
They did it again. Hey, and Marquez Pope did it again. Matt Hatchett on the outside.
Yep. And then Stussy followed suit.
Offense.
You're right.
5 yards, third down.
Marquez Pope is jumping up in his face and then just giving him a little bit of a wiggle. Matt Hatchett got him to jump, and Stussy also jumped on the inside, like you said.
So a dismal way for the Vikings to start this second half. They'll have third down and 13 back at the 24.
Watch Pope again. Yeah, he just hit like just a quick, and you did it. Yeah, he just turned around.
Third down and 13, and this time Cunningham gets knocked down, and several of the 49ers, and this will be another one against Minnesota.
This is horrendous. I've never seen
Three straight false start penalties called against the Minnesota Vikings on 3 consecutive plays.
False start, number 71. Prior to the
This time David Dixon, the right guard.
At least they're spreading it around a little bit.
They only have 8 more players.
You know, you watch this game. I've been watching it for a long time. That's the first time I've ever seen 3 in a row.
That's a hat trick, Matt. So it's 3rd and 18 when it was once 3rd and 3. Cunningham going deep, and Chris Carter is knocked down, and that was Tyrone Drake Drakeford, the nickel back, doing a fine job of staying with Chris Carter downfield, and that will bring up 4th down, and Minnesota will have to kick it away. Minnesota Vikings offense in one play today, the 66-yard pass on the mix-up defensively by the Niners from Cunningham to Chris Carter. And now Mitch Berger punting. Rod Woodson with a fair catch at the 37-yard line. That was Drakeford doing the job against Chris Carter. And we'll be right back.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff is brought to you by the 1998 Honda Accord, an Accord like no other. By Paramount Pictures' Hard Rain, starts Friday, January 16th, rated R. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
And welcome back to San Francisco, where the 49ers go on offense for the first time in this third quarter from their 38-yard line, leading 21-7. Steve Young fires out to the sideline. J.J. Stokes has it. Close to the first down, maybe shy by a yard.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing the 49ers aren't doing is you're not pushing the ball down the field. You can see right here with Steve Young, past 15, just one for one there, and then 12 out of 16. There's 3 for 4, 75% under 15 yards. The defense is sitting off. He's just taking what they're going to give him.
Steve Young completed all 7 passes in the second quarter and his first attempt here in the third. Second down and 1, and here is Kirby's got the first down as he drives into Minnesota territory. Robert Griffith coming up to make the play.
Dick, you know who's been playing well for the 49ers today has been William Floyd. William Floyd, I think he's all the way back off that knee. And again, I mentioned earlier, working with Tom Rathman, I think he's a better blocker now than he was prior to the knee. Prior to the knee, he just tried to knock you over every time. He's using a little bit more body position, but he still gives you good toughness out of that backfield.
His blocking has enabled Kirby to get 53 yards and a touchdown. First and 10 at midfield, pressure on Young, and this pass intended for Brent Jones, covered downfield by Dixon Edwards. Edwards claims that he was interfered with by Brent Jones on his way downfield.
Dixon Edwards is just working with him, gets his hands on him, gets the jam. Now watch, yeah, it could have gone either way. Hey, I'm all in favor of that. Just let them play. Let them play. I think that's a good non-call.
Brent Jones coming out of the game and replaced by Greg Clark, rookie tight end. Second down, 10. Here is Terry Kirby going up the middle, and Jerry Ball grabbed him from behind, but a good gain of 7 yards, and that will bring up third down and short for the 49ers, who are in Minnesota territory. And Chris Dahlman, the center, back in the lineup for the 49ers. He was shaken up. You got the report from Pam Oliver before the kickoff. Here's Jason Fisk and Dwayne Clemens coming in defensively, and confusion on the part of the Vikings defense here. Third down and 4. Young will run for it and slide.
He's going to be short.
He is short, you're right.
That is a departure. There's a perfect example.
He didn't do that always.
Yeah, no, Steve Young in prior years would have gone head first, and he would not have slid. Watch, he sees it right away. He sees the coverage. He sees they're going to jump it, and he also knows that there's nobody there, so he takes off and runs. Now, the other thing about Steve Young, you were always guaranteed with Steve Young to get some great facial expressions when he takes off, and he always does. Get those good faces going when he's running.
And I was amazed that Steve Young, when he was at Brigham Young, almost played safety, that he never almost had a chance to play quarterback.
Did play safety. Told us the other day he was the 8th string quarterback, and he was the fastest guy. And then his offensive coordinator, Doug Scoville, just basically said, look, we don't like lefties, so you're good enough to play in the secondary, but he wouldn't give up on it. And I think there's a lesson to be learned there. They wanted to play him at safety, but he wanted to keep on being a quarterback, so he made sure he threw every single day.
He hung in there. Ted Tallner became the offensive coordinator, and Tallner said, you can play quarterback. The 49ers want to see how much they are short. It's less than a yard. It'll be 4th and less than 1. Decision for Steve Mariucci, and he's going to go for it.
But he's got his grunt backfield in there again. Remember, he's got William Floyd and
Mark
Edwards, 44.
Edwards, a rookie from Notre Dame, so here come the 49ers, 4th and less than 1. William Floyd, it's a fake, and the pass is caught by Brent Jones, and he's got a first down at the 25-yard line. A gain of 16, well executed by the 49ers, and a good fake by Steve Young.
Well, to that time, you just take the grunts and you fake them. And then because you have those legs of Steve Young, you use them. You fake one way, you get your whole defense flowing, and a nice fake and carrying out by William Floyd, and then you bring Young back the other way.
Not an easy catch either for Brent Jones.
And not an easy throw either. He's rolling away from his strength.
First down for the 49ers on the 25 of the Vikings. And Terry Kirby lost his footing momentarily and gains 1 yard. Well, Steve Young, who has been the stabilizing force, here's what Steve Mariucci said about his veteran quarterback.
You know, he would like to throw for 35 or 40 touchdowns, and I would like to do that too. But it just wasn't the time and place. You know, we needed to hand the ball off. And, you know what's good? He's playing every game. And he's here for the playoffs, feeling good and healthy.
That's all you can ask for Steve Young at this stage. He's healthy. 2nd down and 9. And here comes pressure on Young, and that was Dixon Edwards who came in free from his linebacker position, and that will bring up 3rd down and long.
You know, it's funny, I mentioned to Steve Mariucci, who also coached Brett Favre when he was in Green Bay under Mike Holmgren, and asked him to kind of compare the two. You know, Steve Young doesn't have the same arm strength as Brett Favre, but he said his decision-making makes him that much more efficient. Because he said Steve Young practices every day not to throw interceptions. He won't try to take a chance, and that's helped him through his career.
3rd down and 9 with 4 wide receivers for the 49ers. And Young on a slant completes the pass to Brent Jones, short of the first down, but in solid field goal range for Gary Anderson.
An excellent sight adjust by Brent Jones and Steve Young, something they've been doing forever. They see the blitz coming to the inside. You can see he's saying, how far? He wants to know.
Yeah, he may go for it again. He did once. Gary Anderson flexing his leg on the sideline, the veteran field goal kicker.
That's hard. How hard? You can almost see his voice get high when he asks that question. Hey, what? Steve Mariucci is one enthusiastic coach.
He's naturally gung-ho, not artificially, naturally gung-ho. That's a little longer than a yard. 4th down. And here comes Gary Anderson to try the field goal. Gary Anderson, who has connected on 17 of his last 19 field goal attempts in postseason. This will be a 34-yard field goal attempt. The punter, Tommy Thompson, will hold. And the most prolific field goal kicker in history at 385. And Anderson's kick is good. He missed 2 against the Vikings 4 weeks ago, but this one is perfect, and the 49ers now lead 24-7. The Minnesota Vikings have quite a hill to climb, trailing now 24-7. Last week's come-from-behind win over the Giants, the 5th biggest comeback in NFL playoff history, and right now they trail by 17 points. David Palmer is back deep as Tommy Thompson is getting set to kick off. Palmer on the run at the 5-yard line. And the 49ers have done a good job on coverage on kicks today. That was a 19-yard return, and Kevin Mitchell making the play. He'll be right back.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff is brought to you by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. Mazda.
8:08 remaining in the third quarter. The 49ers in front 24-7, trying to advance to the NFC Championship game next week, which would be here in San Francisco. Vikings with a 1st and 10 on the 24. 3 wide receivers and a handoff to Robert Smith. Robert Smith turning the corner at the 30, still going, and a fine bit of running. He broke some tackles before Brian Young brings him down in a pickup of 18 yards.
They have not been able to be consistent offensively all game long. This is really only the 4th real play that they've had. Remember, you had the 66-yard touchdown reception to Chris Carter, and then Glover had a 31-yard catch. And then this run is the 3rd biggest play they've had all day.
That is the first rushing first down by the Vikings today. They're on the 42-yard line. Randall Cunningham stepping up, and he's going deep for Jake Reed, and Reed has it inside the 10-yard line. And Marquez Pope brings him down, and another big gain. This one, 53 yards.
And it's not like it was bad coverage, but it was a 6'4" Jake Reed who got to the top side of Tyrone Drakeford. But Drakeford runs with him stride for stride. This is a classic example of a big guy versus a shorter guy. And the ball was just thrown. He also got that half a step. Nice little pushing going on in there. And the ball really well thrown.
It was, and if it weren't for big plays, the Vikings would really be behind the 8 ball. 1st and goal at the 5. And here's Leroy Horde, the bruising running back on the tandem of Smith and Horde, gets 4 yards, and it is 2nd down and goal.
See how Leroy Horde finished off that run? I mean, he finished up. There's a way to fall properly, and he fell forward. I mean, he was going, he was getting tackled, but he twisted his body and just kept it going forward, and actually picked up another 2 yards just on the fall.
Drakeford and Pope go out of the game, and 49ers with extra man up front, 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Leroy Horde won't get there and might even lose a yard. Ken Norton Jr. the first to reach it. It'll be 3rd and goal, and of course this is 4-down territory for the Vikings, who trail by 17.
A nice job of reading your keys and then just jumping what you see. Randall McDaniel's going to pull around, and Ken Norton Jr. just comes in from the side and is able to make the stop in the backfield. But more than that, the defensive line of San Francisco is winning that battle.
3rd down and goal. Andrew Glover in motion. Cunningham's pass caught. Touchdown to Chris Carter. His 2nd catch for a touchdown today. And Cunningham is hit. Slowly getting up. Chris Goldman, the former Viking, was there, but Cunningham appears to be all right as he runs off the field.
Well, if you listen to our pregame show, one of the things they talked about was inside the red zone, Chris Carter and Randall Cunningham were on the same page. And he just ran right past Tim McDonald. Tim McDonald had the coverage. Carter whipped his head around before Tim McDonald could.
Eddie Murray with the extra point, and the Minnesota Vikings with an impressive drive sparked by a 53-yard pass. There's a flag on the field. And it'll be holding against the Vikings. Carter with his 2nd touchdown catch of the day.
87 on the kicking
Hunter
team.
Goodwin.
10-yard penalty.
Here's the touchdown again. Man, the ball just was thrown, and actually Chris Carter whipped his head around before Tim McDonald could, and then a good job of getting those, I don't know. He got one foot down for sure, but that second one, that toe right there. Whoop, that's not the toe. I know my anatomy. That ain't a toe. One. Oh, look at that, right there.
Meanwhile, the extra point kicked from the 20-yard line is good by Murray. And with 5:13 remaining in the third quarter, the Vikings get a touchdown back.
See, here's what you have to be able to watch. See, this is, remember, this is slow motion. There's the catch, there's one, and there's toe. There's toe. Now, this is what the officials see right here. Full speed. That's an awful tough place to make a call.
And he had 2 feet in. The question is, did he have possession when he had that first foot in?
Down.
Right. But it's a touchdown for the Vikings, who trailed by 10. And now Mitch Berger will be kicking off. Line drive kick. Chuck Levy from the 5. And Levy is brought down on a fine play by Pete Bursich. A 20-yard return. Well, an annual football tradition comes your way Sunday, January 18th. It's back. The blockbuster 15th annual All Madden Team. Check local listings for the start time and area. Who better to talk about the All Madden Team than my partner, Matt Miller?
It is the best. It's better than the Pro Bowl. It's better than All Pro. And the reason is simple, because they give you a free jacket. That's the biggest thing. Then, you get guys like Gogan and Randall and guys like that, guys who know how to play the game, and the game means something to them. The jacket's the most important.
Oh, yeah. But you're a good scout for the All Madden Team. You always have been. Here's Terry Kirby with a burst. Terry Kirby. And all of a sudden, the Minnesota defense gets pushed around by the front, and a good blocking, a gain of 22 yards before Robert Griffith brings him down at the 47.
That's been to the right side where they've been blocking, and they've also been getting some stuff down the field with Terrell Owens. Remember, Terrell Owens and J.J. Stokes, both big bodies and both willing to block. What they've been able to do is they've been able to take advantage of that rookie side, Stalin Colonet and Tony Williams. And then Scrafford and Gogan have been winning that battle.
Kirby with 85 yards rushing gets another attempt. This is his 16th. Great cut in by Terry Kirby. And finally, Torian Gray with a tackle, but another first down to the 40-yard line of the Vikings.
Just talking to Steve Mariucci, he said, we've got to be able to get Terry Kirby running the ball effectively. He said, as a matter of fact, we had a little sit-down this week, and we talked to him about making the play and running through blocks and being physical, and he has really run well today.
Garrison Hurst, who had a big year, broke his collarbone in Week 14 against Kansas City and gained over 1,000 yards. Chuck Levy replaces Terry Kirby in the backfield. First down, Steve Young, short drop. Terrell Owens with a catch and a minimal gain on the play.
Most defenses will say this: we will give you 5 yards, we'll make you work down the field methodically, and the chances are that you're not going to be able to do it. Somewhere along the line, you're going to mess something up, and either you'll turn the ball over or you'll lose it on downs. But with the 49ers, you can't do that, because once they have the rhythm like they have now, they can drive it for 10 and 15 play drives.
Undefeated at home this year for the first time in their NFL history. Second down and 7. Young on rhythm as J.J. Stokes still on his feet and out of bounds.
Another missed
at the 25-yard line.
Another missed tackle by the Minnesota Vikings.
And this game summary is brought to you by Budweiser. It's been all the 49ers as far as the first downs are concerned. Steve Young with a precision-like game, running for 37 yards, but Chris Carter has kept the Vikings in there with 2 touchdowns of his 3 receptions on the day. First and 10 at the 25 of Minnesota. Inside handoff, William Floyd. And Gray brings him down, but Floyd is close to yet another 49er first down.
What a nice little misdirection.
Leonard Wheeler slow getting up. He's shaken up. Steve Mariucci wanting to know how close the 49ers are to a first down. Leonard Wheeler, who started the game as the Vikings nickelback on the defense, and then has played every down at cornerback after Dwayne Washington picked up an early pass interference call. Here comes the measurement. And they've got another first down. 49ers on the 15 of the Vikings.
You know, the offensive line of this 49ers, you can see today, Deason, Brown, Dahlman, Gogan, Scrafford. Only one sack allowed, 148 rushing yards, and the majority has been to this side. And Scrafford and Gogan have played very well today.
Kirk Scrafford, according to Steve Mariucci, said he graded out the best of all the offensive linemen this season.
Ray Brown has played well in there. Dahlman, Derek Deese.
First down on the 15. Steve Young swings it out, intended for William Floyd. I'd have to think this is a critical defensive sequence for the Minnesota Vikings if they have any hopes of staging another comeback, something they've done with regularity this year.
I think anything in this game anymore is critical for them. I mean, their whole season is down right here. They're down by 10 points. If you can hold them to a field goal and it's still a two-score game, you're okay.
Second down and 10.
Relatively okay.
Once again, the 49ers with a ball control edge of 11 and a half minutes. Steve Young. And this pass is caught by Terrell Owens. Touchdown.
Great effort by Terrell Owens. Great effort.
Still motoring is number 81.
He feels so good about himself, he's still going. And Dwayne Washington was right there. Dwayne Washington read it. He gave him a cushion. He drove on the ball. But Owens, with his ability to be physical, made the catch. Watch how he takes this and then just shrugs the tackle. Watch the drive on the ball. He just throws him to the side and gets that ball. Remember, it's where the ball is, not where the body is.
You like the way he high-stepped it, though, toward the goal line. Gary Anderson with the point after, with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. So the 49ers quickly get this touchdown back. After Carter scored his, he got the ball over, he's got everything over. And it's now 31-14, San Francisco.
Now I want you to watch Steve Young. See, no, watch this. See, this is how it's done. You see this? See, that's how quarterbacks dance. See, they dance.
Look at his eyes.
They dance from the waist up. They're good chair dancers. See, and he knows it.
And at age 36, he can do it with the younger guys. David Palmer returning the kickoff. Fumble. And the Vikings appear to have recovered the fumble at the 22-yard line. And it was forced by Jim Schwantz. And now for a McDonald's game break. Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots looking to throw with the score tied in the first quarter today against the Steelers. Chad Scott picks it off, led to a Steeler touchdown, and then he was sacked by Jason Gilden. And the Pittsburgh Steelers hold on and win 7-6 to advance to the AFC Championship game against the winner of tomorrow's game between the Broncos and the Chiefs. And Kansas City and Denver. In a familiar battle, Marty Schottenheimer against John Elway. How long have they gone at it?
There's the ball. It goes flopping up in the air. And it looks like Dwayne Butler is the guy who ended up falling on the ball. And I believe he's down out. That was Charles Evans. And he's up. Dwayne Butler came up with the fumble right there.
Minute 45 remain in the third quarter. Of course, with a 31-14 deficit as Evans appears all right. The Minnesota Viking running game has to be extremely limited at this point. That'll make it tough for Randall Cunningham against the 49er defense. Robert Smith will be the lone running back with 3 wide receivers. First down. Cunningham swings it out, but not a good pass to Robert Smith, and it'll be second down and 10. I want to remind you tomorrow, a special time for tomorrow's NFC Divisional game from Lambeau Field, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Green Bay Packers. 2 Central Division teams go at it again. The Packers won the 2 previous games. Tough place to win up at Lambeau. Tony Dungy has played up there or coached up there as an assistant with the Vikings. Second down and 10. Faked by Cunningham. Dangerous pass attempt to Carter with Tyrone Drakeford cutting in.
One thing that Minnesota Vikings have done pretty well, I mean, they haven't thrown the ball well, but what they have done is been able to block inside on Dana Stubblefield. We really haven't talked much about him. That's Randall McDaniel and Everett Lindsey for the most part. It was interesting talking to Dana Stubblefield going against Randall McDaniel. He says 2 things. Boy, he said he's an all-day sucker. You better be ready to play all game long. But he said the other thing is that stance is so ugly that you end up looking at the ankle and say, what the heck is that thing doing out there?
Very unorthodox. Third down and 10. Cunningham on the rollout, being rushed, and his pass incomplete. Broken up by Woodson, and it was intended for Jake Reed. So it'll be 4th down, and the Vikings will have to kick it away with under a minute and a half to go in the 3rd. Cheers for the 49er defense. Number 1 in the NFL all year.
Their secondary has played very well today.
Yes, they have. Mitch Berger kicking for the 6th time. And Ron Woodson back to receive. Flag is down. Fair catch called by Woodson at the 38. But there's a penalty. That kick went 40 yards. Bob McElwee
number 36 on the return team. After the ball was kicked, the receivers will keep the ball after enforcement for their foul. First down.
Here it is.
Working on Dwayne Butler in the outside. See what they used to do? Sometimes the old play was to let the guy run you over and then you just latch onto him and pull him down with you. That time, the old rule was caught.
You can get away with it? What did you say about rules?
Hey, they're not broken unless the flag is on the ground.
Steve Young, 20 of 25 in Week 15 against the Vikings, and another great percentage, 19 of 26. Combined 76%. That'll be top rated in any league. 49ers from the 28-yard line, leading 31-14. And the give is to Kirby, not that time, as he'll lose a couple of yards. Well, Sunday, January 18th, World War III will be fought on ice. Don't miss Canada's Wayne Gretzky and America's John LeClair when they lead the best players from North America against the world in an Olympic preview. It's the NHL All-Star Game live from Vancouver, Sunday, January 18th at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on Fox. Boy, that'll be a battle.
I can't wait to watch the glowing puck. Give me the glowing puck. We can put some glow on the football.
Go left. Second down and 12. Steve Young up the middle with Trent Jones. And no complete is the call on Jones, who took a lick from Robert Griffin.
Steve Young saw that quick. Trent Jones knew it was going to happen. He's been there enough times.
And he's not getting up.
He just got to catch his breath right now. Robert Griffiths was right there. Griffiths was looking right in. Here's the thing about Trent Jones. He knew he was going to take the hit. He wanted to try to get small as quick as he could, but the ball got there right as Griffiths did. Well, That's in slow motion. Watch this in regular speed. Bam. And you're a receiver, and you're running to the middle of the field. You know that's going to happen. I mean, and Brent Jones has done it for a lot of years and done it well.
Robert Griffith is over there checking on Brent Jones. See him with his right hand on his shoulder. Steve Young.
They're chanting Brent Jones' name. Jones as he runs to the middle. He knows he has the inside open, knows he's going to get hit, but he just concentrates completely on the ball. Doesn't have enough time to get small after the catch is made.
Chris Carter of the Vikings is right in the middle of it now as well. Brent Jones.
Brent Jones got hit
in the mouth.
In the kisser, yeah. He's retiring after this season. There are some of his teammates,
pretty good career,
who are questioning whether he should retire. And the reason they're questioning him is because he's still so effective.
Gary Plummer was expected to retire. Now he's having second thoughts, the 49er linebacker, as to whether he'll hang him up.
There's a group out here from his district. There's Gary Plummer. There's a group out here from Brent Jones' area who want him to run for political office, and he's considering that.
Getting some votes right now.
Hey, what if they had the election right here in Candlestick Park? He'd get a lot of votes.
That ought to be his campaign poster. Show how tough he is. Greg Clark will replace Brent Jones at tight end, rookie from Stanford. There's Robert Griffith with that hit. There's Clark in the lineup. Third down and 12 from the 26. 36 seconds remain in the third quarter. Mark Harris goes in motion to the left. And the screen pass is dropped by Terry Kirby. One of the few mistakes that Kirby has made tonight. Well, for the San Francisco 49ers, who finished 13-3, business as usual, and a team record 11-game winning streak, and an all-time record for a rookie coach, Steve Mariucci, 11 in a row, but a great year all the way around.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. And in terms of getting the job done, there's still some people out there who are saying, well, you know, they really haven't played anybody. The one team that they played was the Kansas City Chiefs, and they thumped them.
High snap, and Thompson getting off the punt, and it's a good one. David Palmer keeps the ball, and he's dropped. He did not fool the 49ers on that return, and he is dropped at the 32-yard line. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the NFL is prohibited. Dick Stockton, along with Matt Millen and Pam Oliver here in San Francisco. The winner of this game will move on to the NFC Championship game next Sunday against the winner of the Packers-Buccaneers game, which will be on Fox tomorrow. Vikings have a first down on the 32-yard line, and Leroy Hoard picks up a couple. And that may be the last play of the third quarter.
Minnesota Vikings have not been able to do anything offensively here today. And anytime a team goes into a game thinking they need big plays, they're in trouble.
And that is the end of the third quarter with the score, the 49ers 31, the Vikings 14. And we'll return to San Francisco after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to San Francisco as we start the fourth quarter. The 49ers leading 31-14. They have scored in each of the first three quarters. Vikings with the ball, 2nd and 7. Randall Cunningham with a play fake, and his pass is complete to Jake Reed, and a first down into 49er territory, 18 yards on the play.
Jake Reed working on Marquez Pope on the outside, and Pope is just bailing, just keeping the receiver in front of him because he's sitting there in his zone. Nice job of Randall Cunningham seeing it and then just throwing it, just basically taking what they give you.
3 catches for 82 yards, including a 53-yard reception in the third quarter. Palmer is in the lineup on 1st and 10 at the 46. Cunningham throws it away, smartly avoiding the sack. And right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick. Brett Jones, he bit his tongue on that impact play there. They are trying to determine if they're going to stitch it up or just evaluate it for a while. He is doubtful for the rest of the game. Back to you.
Yeah, stitching up your tongue doesn't sound good. That's one of those things that I would have to say, no. It'll heal all by itself, doctor, believe me. How the heck can you eat if you have a chomped-on tongue? Well, sometimes my tongue tastes so good I want to eat it.
There's something else. 2nd down and 10. Cunningham and unable to hold on to it as Reed. Flag is down as Pope was there.
That's going to go on Jake Reed. Jake Reed pushed off of Pope right at the end of that play.
Offensive pass interference.
Good call. Right on there. Good call by you.
They were throwing that ball behind him. See, the ball's going to be thrown here, and watch Reed. Take him, gives the push up the field, and then comes back and drops the ball. That was a good call by the official.
Brent Jones is leaving the field. I'm anxious to see how they're going to handle that.
That sounds bad.
Cut tongue.
Stitching up your tongue.
What was that again?
I mean, I can feel it from here.
3rd down and 10. And for Brent Jones as he leaves the field, but the way things look, his season is not over yet by any stretch. They need 10 yards, and Randall Cunningham going for Matthew Hatchett. Incomplete, covered by Merton Hanks downfield. And it's 4th down, and the Vikings will go for it, I would assume, on 4th down. I guess I assumed wrong. Mitch Berger is going to come in to kick it away.
The secondary of this 49er defense has been on top of their game just about all game long. They had a couple of big plays that happened to them earlier. But for the majority of 3 quarters, they have not given anything up.
Chuck Levy is back to receive the punt, and he calls for the fair catch at the 22. Rod Woodson has a strained left calf, and thus Levy returning that punt. We'll be right back.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff is brought to you by the new Dodge and the new 4-door Ram Quad Cab pickup. The rules have changed. By Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL. By Texaco, a world of energy. And by Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants.
Back at San Francisco early in the 4th quarter. The 49ers in front 31-14, starting from their 21-yard line. Steve Young handing off to Terry Kirby. Kirby getting a 1 yard on the play. Ed McDaniel making the tackle. Big guy limping there was Kevin Gogan.
Kevin Gogan has his buddy Steve Wisniewski of the Raiders, who he played with last year here in the stands. Got him some tickets, wanted to rub it in a little bit that he's playing, and Steve Wisniewski wasn't.
Kevin Gogan also will be playing in the Pro Bowl.
This looks like a big old lapdog to me.
Want to adopt him. 2nd down and 8. Play action. Steve Young flips it out to Terry Kirby. Terry Kirby has been the big offensive hero other than Steve Young today, and he gets enough for the 1st down. Leonard Wheeler on the tackle to the 35 of the 49ers.
Well, they needed Terry Kirby to come through, and he responded. He's run well, and he's always done a good job of catching the ball out of the backfield. Torian Gray, you can see there, number 23, with his helmet off and getting up a little slow.
Speaking about Kirby, 99 yards rushing and a touchdown, and he's caught 3 passes for 24 yards as well. We'll take a timeout. Be right back. High above, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle has been providing these aerial pictures. Goodyear Blimps travel over 100,000 miles every year covering major sporting events. The 49ers with a first down on the 35-yard line. Orlando Thomas has replaced Torian Gray at free safety for Minnesota. Here is Terry Kirby, who has over 125 total yards today, brought down by Orlando Thomas after a pickup of 3 yards. Kirby's biggest game rushing this year was 73 yards. He's gone over 100 rushing, 102. He has scored a touchdown plus 24 yards as a receiver.
Well, Steve Mariucci said they had a little sit down and he needed to talk about him running and running well, and whatever those words were spoken, he took to heart because he's run very well here today.
He set the tone offensively for the 49ers early on. Second down and 7. Again, it's Kirby. Good gain, close to the first down. And now for a McDonald's game break. Brett Favre looked loose at practice this morning inside the bubble near Lambeau Field. The Tampa bus arrived at 1 o'clock Green Bay time, and Tony Dungy put the Bucs and quarterback Trent Dilfer through a light workout. Remember, it's the Bucs and Packers tomorrow. Coverage begins at a special time. Remember, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Third down and 1 for the 49ers. Greg Clark and Chad Fan, the 2 tight ends. Brent Jones left for the dressing room with an injury. And a play fake. Steve Young dumps it off, nowhere to go. And that flag goes down.
That's going to be on John Randall.
Randall knocked down Steve Young, and he's hearing it from Derek Deese, the left tackle. Roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 93. Defense going to the head. 15 yards, first down.
During the regular season, the Vikings roughed the passer 6 times to lead the league.
Now, the referee's job is to protect. He went helmet to helmet. That's a good call. His job is to protect that quarterback. And he jumped up and hit him right in the face, so the helmet to helmet hit. You see, and John Randall walked by Steve Young. Steve Young let him know what he thought of that call. Something about what falls out of the south end of a northbound bull. You watch the helmet. It's going to go right to the head. Boom. Yeah, you can't do that. That's a good call by the official.
Can't put your hands up after you've done that either. I think you won't get caught. First down, Kirby again, following his blockers. He breaks down, and he goes down, and a loss of about 1.5 yards. Rudd and Tony Williams, first time we mentioned that rookie's name today. John Randall, always the talker, the chatterbox out there.
I thought Howie Long had a funny line. The only thing that moves faster than his motor is his mouth. I thought that was pretty good. And he'll talk all game long. In fact, Steve Young was telling us that in the intermissions, what they'll have to do is he'll have to tell his offensive line, don't listen to Randall. Don't even turn around and look at him. Keep your mouth shut and watch me.
And then he'll stop talking. Second down and 12 on the 43 of the Vikings. There is Kirby, and finally McDaniel makes the play with help from Robert Griffith. Back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up third down and 10.
I'll tell you that Robert Griffith, he will come 100 miles an hour to hit you. And like I said, he'll throw all that he has into you. But sometimes he doesn't wrap his arms, but sometimes he stops his feet. And we were talking about that last night. He said, yeah, you were telling me, you said it on the air. And my mom called me and said, hey, this guy Millen, he's saying you don't wrap your arms.
You don't want to make Robert Griffith's mom up.
No. And as soon as he starts wrapping his arms all the time, I won't say it anymore.
Third down and 10. Steve Young stepping up. And Young has an open man, and it's J.J. Stokes. Stokes inside the 15-yard line. And that time a gain of 29 yards. Stokes has had a big day for the 49ers.
Corey Fuller got up yelling at Orlando Thomas. Steve Young saw it. See how he looked to his left the whole time? And then Corey Fuller had gotten a push on him and turned it over to his safety. He was expecting his safety to come all the way over.
And without Jerry Rice, J.J. Stokes and Terrell Owens have come up big with those numbers compared to a year ago. And in all fairness to Stokes, he is healthy for the first time in his career. And today, 13 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown by the two. Kirby up the middle, and he gets to the 5-yard line on first down.
This is the best I've seen Terry Kirby run. Terry Kirby is running hard, he's squaring his shoulders, and he's also running low.
So Kirby's been a hero. Of course, Steve Young always is when they move the ball like this. He has 115 yards because Terry Kirby. And J.J. Stokes, that catch, by the way, play ago was his 9th of the game, and that is a career high for him.
Dick, I said right at the start of the game that the Minnesota Vikings had to break the rhythm of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, obviously, the next question is how.
Second down and 4 from the 6. And Terry Kirby gets to the goal line and is stopped short. Kirby, by the way, with a career high today rushing with well over 120, and add some more to that. It'll be a first down and goal at the 1. With 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter in what is going to be a convincing San Francisco 49er victory.
Dick, to answer that question of how, I think there's two things that you definitely have to do against San Francisco. First of all, you can't just sit in zones and let the receivers run. You have to be able to knock the receivers around at the line of scrimmage.
Pretty good balance today. And a touchdown, Terry Kirby with his second TD of the game with 7:32 to go. So career games today by Terry Kirby on the ground, J.J. Stokes as a receiver, and the offensive line doing a brilliant job.
That looked like a satisfied head coach. That looked like a head coach who knew his offensive line was getting the job done. Nice job by Greg Clark, 85. Good job also by Ray Brown, number 65. And then Kirby just fouled those blocks, found the crease, and scored.
Gary Anderson. And the extra point is good. So Terry Kirby with 120 yards on 25 carries, 2 touchdowns, and the 49ers winning going away here 38-14. Looking ahead, the 49ers comfortably in front, and they will be home a week from tomorrow against either Tampa Bay or Green Bay. Now, the Buccaneers beat the 49ers when Young and Rice got knocked out in week 1 in Tampa. And the Packers, of course, have eliminated the 49ers in this divisional matchup the last 2 years, one time here at San Francisco 2 years ago. Thompson with the kickoff and David Palmer returning. At the 27 by Zach Bronson. New York Undercover is back. It's an all-new team taking on cases the cops won't handle. In a world this dangerous, one mistake can get you killed. Catch the season premiere of New York Undercover Thursday at 9, 8 Central on Fox. First and 10 for the Vikings. Time running out on their season, trailing 38-14. They're on their 27-yard line. Randall Cunningham making his 5th start after Brad Johnson got hurt. Here's Leroy Horde on the draw play, and Horde picking up about 6 yards on the play. Vikings in the hurry-up offense, something they were reluctant to do last week when they trailed the Giants.
Now being down by 24, they have no choice.
Second down and 4. Cunningham off the hands of Ford, incomplete. Matt, looking ahead to the game tomorrow between the Packers and the Buccaneers, Green Bay having won the first 2 in the regular season.
I think the Tampa Bay Bucks will go in there pretty confident because I think they match up not great but pretty well. Where they're not great is because they don't match up well, nor does anybody match up with Brett Favre. He does things that you can't match up with, and that becomes the key. Can they handle what Favre brings?
Third down and 4 with under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Chris Carter with the reception, and his forward progress is very close to the first down. Merton Hanks all over him. Hanks indicating that Carter did not make the sticks, and Merton may be right. It is a first down for Minnesota. Carter with a 66-yard touchdown catch in the first quarter, and then a 3-yard reception for a score in the third, in a day in which he's only caught 4 overall. First down for the Vikings. Short drop, and there's Chris Carter again. And a pickup of about 6 with 6:06 remaining on the clock. There is Terry Kirby, who has come up big today for the 49ers. No question about it, 120 yards rushing.
M-I-C-K-E-Y. Why? Because I love you.
Second down and 4. Cunningham's pass, and it is caught by Jake Reed at the 39 of the 49ers in a gain of 18. Well, that's a contrast for Ken Norton after pummeling the padding under the goalpost.
You know, Ken Norton Jr. and Gary Plummer, they just went down like 4 notches in my book before the game. I'm sitting there in the locker room, just kind of watching the earlier football game, and Gary Plummer and Ken Norton walk by with wheels on their luggage.
Oh, that is
hard to believe. That's as bad as it gets in the National Football League. You start having that luggage when you're rolling it behind you.
You never want to see that. And a one-handed catch and a great catch by Chris Carter to the 30-yard line. Could you imagine that? And we saw some of the Redskins with the wheels this year.
That's terrible. That's not a good sign in the National Football League, but that's a great catch by Chris Carter.
Why do you bring up the luggage with wheels?
That's just a major concession. When you start, you can't even carry your own luggage. You got to wheel it behind you. Needless to say, I told them that it wouldn't make the air, but I lied.
Second down and 1. Under 5 minutes remaining. Pump fake by Cunningham, and this pass intended for Reed. That will bring up third down and 1. Chris Dolman, who had 2.5 sacks, former Viking in the regular season meeting, and was revved up to go against his former team. He still had harbored some bad feelings for the Minnesota Vikings. Then went to the Atlanta Falcons, but has downplayed this game today, and he holds the Vikings record with 21 sacks back in the '89 season. Third and 1, the quarterback sneak, first down by Randall Cunningham.
Well, you know who's played pretty well against him today has been Todd Stussy over there on the left side, and he gave up a couple of pressures. Remember the one time he gave up the hit into Randall Cunningham's face, and all he could do was help him back up. I think Stussy's turned into a pretty solid left tackle.
Line's done a good job, but they haven't run anything today, that's for sure. And the pass is overthrown. Good pass protection for Cunningham, but the running game has been snuffed out by the 49ers inside people.
Really, Minnesota Vikings couldn't get any kind of rhythm at all offensively. I said it earlier, and I'll repeat myself. I think when you have to start relying on big plays, you're in trouble because you can't plan for big plays. You can't game plan big plays.
Robert Smith, third leading rusher in the NFC, but they did not have that aspect of their offense today. Second down and 10. Cunningham to the air again, and this one caught by Reed and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 4 4:17 remaining in the fourth quarter. Today's NFC Divisional Playoff game was produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. Our associate producer is Larry Lancaster, and our broadcast associates are Greg Scopatoni and Jacob Ullman. Thanks also to our technical producer, Dean Walker, Rich Basili, and our outstanding Fox technical staff, Freddie Aldous in audio, and his crew. First and 10 at the 14-yard line. Mike Bertuz. Pre-game was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. But for our money, Matt, our guys are second to none as far as this crew is concerned.
I'll take them. I'll take them anytime as long as I don't have to feed them.
That's a tough thing. Second down and 9, and this pass caught by Hatchett. And he gets over for the touchdown. Matthew Hatchett with the touchdown, a 13-yard score with 3:47 to go. Tyrone Drakeford tried to hold him back.
Yeah, he tried to take an arm with him, but remember, it's where the ball is. Now he grabs the right arm, and Hatchett alertly just puts it across and breaks the plane, and that's 6. For that knee, right there. I don't know about that there.
38-20, and a 2-point conversion coming up for the Vikings. Trailing by 18 points.
Make it a 16-point game.
Cunningham has it, and Chris Walsh, former Stanford performer, and now it is a 38-22 game with 3:47 to go. 16-point game, and that's 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, and the Minnesota Vikings lining up for an onside kick. The 49ers have their good hands people at the 40-yard line. It worked last week for the Vikings as they recovered the onside kick when Chris Callaway bobbled it as Minnesota came from behind in the final moments. And here is the onside kick, and it's tipped out of bounds. That's Terry Kirby.
That's a good job of getting the hands on the ball and just knocking it out of bounds. They're going to try to kick it high and turn it into a jump ball.
And he just tapped it away.
That's an excellent job. That's an excellent job of Kirby. He's played well all the way around. Nice hang time, too. So he hangs up there, bink.
And George Stewart, the special teams coach.
They say that's good, smart play.
The ball was last touched by the receivers.
That's right.
San Francisco's ball, 1st and 10.
Right. It is the 49ers ball. So the 49ers recovering the onside. There's Brent Jones back, and what do they do with his tongue is the big issue. He bit on it.
As soon as he came out on the field, I was watching. Everybody's coming and just looking in his mouth.
Jeff Brom has come in at quarterback for the 49ers. Brom has appeared in 4 games this year. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Chuck Levy, flag is down, and Levy fights his way to the Minnesota 40-yard line. Clock stopping with 3:37 to go.
See, Steve knows he threw him that ball. See, Steve Young knows that he threw him the ball, that got him the shot, that bit his tongue.
So he feels guilty.
So now he's going over there and he's trying to cheer him up.
I'm back.
It's the first thing they come over and everybody's asking about his mouth. And everybody was looking at his mouth. He goes, yeah.
Penalty is against the
open wide and say,
I don't think he can do either one of those things. Penalty marked off against the 49ers. They're back to their own 45. First down and 20 on the 46. Jeff Brom out of Louisville in his 3rd year, and he was the quarterback who replaced Steve Young in the first quarter of the opening game at Tampa Bay. Young had a concussion. Here is Chuck Levy. Levy has dropped timeout by Robert Griffith. Vikings have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and they'll use one here. Matt, they decided to go with the onside kick with 3:37 to go. Denny Green, instead of kicking deep and holding, you could go either way with that decision.
Well, the bottom line is just to stop him right here now, regardless of what happened prior to it.
Well, there is a coach who certainly has been in turmoil. You know, his book came out and it listed a scenario, a plan to sue the owners of the Vikings if he would not gain control, and that has been an issue as far as the Vikings are concerned. And then last week, he talked about a conspiracy of columnists in the Twin Cities who want to run him out of town. Now, Dennis Green, rumored to be possibly the next head coach of the Oakland Raiders, certainly has been in a swirl of controversy, and that, you know, is something that Dennis Green has never backed away from, even from his days at the University of Iowa when he led a revolt in the 1968 season.
I don't know anything about that, Dick. All I know is the guy has taken his team to the playoffs every year. I think he's a pretty good football coach.
Yes, he is. 2nd down and 23. And he won his first playoff game as Chuck Levy carries last week against the Giants as the Vikings call their second timeout, leaving them with 1. But to have so much controversy happen during a season twice is unusual for any team. But one thing we know is that the players have been solidly behind Dennis Green. It has not affected their play one iota. And you can go up and talk to them and they'll tell you that.
Well, the bottom line is he's a good football coach. And the teams that he's put out every single season have been competitive, and they've won, and they've been in the playoffs. And I think that's what you look at. I mean, it's still the bottom line business. Now, the other side to that is how far has he taken? You know, this is the first year that he's gotten past the first playoff game.
3rd down and 19 with 3:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. Chuck Levy and Griffith is the first to get to him back at the 45-yard line. And the Vikings will use their 3rd and final timeout. What a year for Steve Mariucci. A lot of people thought a surprise selection when George Seifert resigned. He was the Packers quarterback coach the last 4 years, working with Brett Favre. And his team, after losing the opening game at Tampa Bay, won 11 in a row. Brent Jones told us the other day that that's when he knew Mariucci was solid. He never wavered. And I think he likes the mariachi dances.
I was just about to say that. The Mooch likes the mariachi. I will tell you this about, and I played here for 2 years in San Francisco. As soon as I walked in, I could see a difference in the building. And I think that comes from Steve Mariucci. I think he's had a good effect on this team. It's a very veteran team, and it's a team with high expectations. And he inherited that and likes the expectations himself, but he's been able to calm the group down.
Tommy Thompson's kick, David Palmer returning from the 19-yard line, and almost an opening, as it was Frankie Smith that prevented a big gain. 3:04 remaining in the 4th quarter, just a matter of time as the 49ers headed for victory. And again, want to remind you, the blockbuster 15th annual All Madden team on Sunday, January 18th. Check your local listings. Talk about All Madden special teams play that he'd like.
Well, it comes in all forms, but I think the bottom line is just to keep on fighting. And you just got to be tough. And there's one thing you always are on an All Madden team is tough and nonstop. And Buckley was all of that.
Vikings with a first down on their 31 with 3 minutes remaining. Cunningham's pass is to Andrew Glover into 49er territory and a gain of 22 yards.
Well, the hurry up.
Vikings out of timeout. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to tie it up, and they stop the clock with 2:44 left.
Hey, there's still plenty of time here. I mean, stranger things have happened. Remember, last week in a minute and a half, they scored 10 points to beat the New York Football Giants, who are now sitting watching this game. So with 2:44, you're still going to be able to stop the clock. They're down 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions.
Well, the Vikings have come from behind 4 times this year to win in the final minute of play. So they've had practice. 2nd down and 10. Randall Cunningham's pass, and try to wrestle it away. And a first down at the 15-yard line.
Nice job of Cunningham getting him up to the line of scrimmage. He wants to be able to stop the clock again.
And he does it with 2:23 on the clock.
He had thoughts, though. He had thoughts outside of Marquez Pope and Chris Carter. So he went back and took one little peek, but Marquez Pope didn't drop his guard. Stayed right on top of him. Now look, the clock will still stop at the 2-minute mark. They got to score right here, get their 2-point conversion, and they have more than enough time.
3 touchdown passes by Randall Cunningham ties Fran Tarkenton's record, set against the Redskins in '76. Second down and 10. Kevin Green putting some pressure on, but Cunningham's pass almost intercepted by Drakeford and intended for rookie Matthew Hatchett. That was right in his numbers.
Drakeford is complaining to the officials saying Hatchett pushed off of him. Cunningham came out and he came up firing. That ball was delivered.
You know, he didn't have his left hand.
Well, watch what happens. See, he gets Hatchett. It gets caught between Hatchett right there. See, so it's really not Hatchett as much as it is Drakeford.
Third down and 10. It behind Matthew Hatchett, and that will present a 4th down and 10, and the Vikings with a last gasp here to try to keep their hopes flickering. They've got to get inside the 7-yard line or the 6-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, and I think that's key. You know, they don't have to score here. They just have to get the first.
Reed and Carter to the left, Hatchett split right. 4th down. Cunningham's pass, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Chris Carter and covered by Brett Maxey. And Cunningham and Carter claiming that Chris was pushed to no avail. And the 49ers will take over on downs with 2:07.
Well, even though you're up, you still got to try to get some extra help. It comes down. God, I hope you're on my side.
And it was a bump by Maxey.
He hit him in the back.
Chris Carter's still upset about it, and you can't blame him. But the 49ers will take over on their 16-yard line with 2:07 to go. The next stoppage will be at the 2-minute warning. Chuck Levy. And the 2-minute warning here in San Francisco. We'll be right back. Next Sunday, the 49ers will host the NFC Championship game against either the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Green Bay Packers. That game will start at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. So Steve Young and the rookie coach, Steve Mariucci, getting set for yet another big game. Second down and 8. Levy up the middle. And that'll be 3rd down and short. Jason Fisk on the tackle. The Vikings are out of timeouts, and we have 1:50 remaining in this game. The 49ers, who lost their opening game to the Buccaneers on the road, then reeled off 11 straight before losing to Kansas City, and then defeated the Denver Broncos before losing their finale at Seattle. Randall Cunningham today with a Viking playoff record for 312 yards passing and 3 touchdown tosses. 3rd down and 3 for the 49ers. And the give is to Levy, who has stopped short of the first down. Vikings will finish their season. They had won 6 in a row at one point and had an 8-2 record in the NFC Central. And then dropped 5 of their last 6 games before making the playoffs with a win over the Indianapolis Colts in the season finale, and then the dramatic comeback against the Giants on the road last week. But today they came up against a superior team.
And they hurt themselves early. They never really were able to get any kind of a rhythm going, and that really is what hurt them today.
Tommy Thompson will back to kick with a half a minute remaining in this game. David Palmer at the 45-yard line, and he is tackled at the 47 by James Williams. Playoff history with the 49ers and the Vikings, now 4-1 in favor of Minnesota. And they talked up this week the playoff game of 1987 when the Vikings defeated the 49ers. Anthony Carter with a big day. Steve Young's first playoff game ever as the Vikings won in the stadium.
Maybe now they'll finally stop talking about that game. I mean, every year they've played them in the playoffs. It always goes back to 87. It'll be 2007. They'll say, remember 20 years ago.
20 seconds remaining. Randall Cunningham. He dumps it off to Robert Smith, who goes out of bounds. And while we have a moment, we want to thank those who supported us up in the booth. Our spotter, Chris Visser, and our statistician, Dave Corris. Our 8th year working with Dave. And thanks to those two gentlemen.
And also the Coos.
Yes.
Yeah, Marcus Millen was.
And what about Matthew? How did he do in his big wrestling match
Matthew won today, yeah.
14 seconds to go. And Andrew Glover, the intended receiver, knocked down, incomplete. And Merton Hanks downfield. '49ers and the Vikings were 7-7 going into the second quarter. Penalties hurt Minnesota, and the backbreaker with 5:41 to go in the second. Randall Cunningham throwing the interception, returned for a touchdown by Ken Norton. 21-7 at the half, and the Vikings never recovered. Terry Kirby with 2 touchdowns today. Cunningham dumps it off on what should be the last play of the game, and it is. The game is over. And the San Francisco 49ers have advanced to the NFC Championship game under their rookie head coach Steve Mariucci. And for the 10th time since 1981, final score here in San Francisco, the 49ers winning today 38-22. And